It's really
Welcome to the stream! Liquid.
Oh. Fuck.
I'm just gonna...
Hello everybody, most of our energy is totally depleted. It's the middle of the week, so let's get this done and over with, folks.
I mean, I'm doing alright for the most part.
Yeah, but we're
Also, Live General for the best boy moment.
Speak for yourself. It's been almost 100 degrees here for the past few days, and it shows no sign of slowing down.
I live in Washington State. Sometimes I just get 60-degree weather up here during the summer. Thank you, cold weather.
Ah, boy. 94 where you are, Nora? Jesus.
It's like over 100 degrees.
So yeah, big...
I'm where I'm at right now, and the sun is already going down.
Last time, big murder. Yeah, that's really all I can say.
Circles.
Big huge murders.
Non-stop infinite murder.
It was a killing spree, but we don't know if they did
non-stop infinite killing
so we don't know if it's a killing frenzy.
Now, how many people has Kaneko lost? I'm curious how saved her voice is right now.
3.
Pretty sure it's just Shannon and... Shannon's dead, Rosa's dead, and Kyrie's dead.
Alright.
Yeah, I forgot about Rosa.
So that's 3 less voices hitting her voice.
We were trying to forget about Rosa.
Forget about Rosa. Always forget about
Rosa. It's completely gone.
Always a little sacrifice.
I mean, like, we lost Kyrie and Rosa, but, you know, we still have the best ones, which are Natsu and Ava.
You're saying that only because she's
What do you mean?
Dude.
Is that a problem, Kaneko?
Nah.
Rosa's the best mom.
Rosa did absolutely nothing wrong.
She did nothing wrong at all.
I feel
Look
like
at this smile. How can you blame me?
She's my favorite character, but she's also a horrible person.
Insane, man.
Look at that smile. How can you blame me?
Shout out to Rosa Umineko.
Oh.
That's Ava.
Hey, I've been meaning to ask. Ozzy, what is your avatar supposed to be?
Don't
have to worry about.
It's from Death Note. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it.
Don't
worry about it. I have the manga. That's not from Death Note.
Don't worry about it.
Don't worry about it.
We're from
Not Death Note, by the way, but we're just gonna go by.
Okay.
Just don't worry about it.
Just don't worry about it.
Don't worry about it. This isn't like an anxiety-inducing don't worry about it. This is a please hold off on questioning. I promise you we'll explain it later.
It's one
but telling somebody with general anxiety disorder to not worry about something kind of kickstarts that.
Yeah, but Kaneko, they're worrying about spoiling you.
Alright. That makes sense.
Okay. Let's
looks like a girl wearing a cloak on her head.
May I say something real quick?
Sure.
Okay, so I did watch the VOD for last episode, and I would like to just say, if you have read ahead at all, please try not to say anything that could possibly be a spoiler.
Yeah.
Because
I know that most of us here are very good at keeping their mouths shut. Some people aren't!
I feel called out for that.
Are you alright?
You do! You should!
Noir.
Huh?
Are you okay? You said you were pouring ginger ale in the choice chat.
Noir is super dead.
Oh, yes. No, that's just why I was not entering the chat quick enough.
He's just getting something to drink.
Also, the ginger ale was successfully poured.
Also,
I do need to order a pizza, though.
Also, Noir, do you appreciate my profile picture?
No.
Just
sorry,
there's no crimson. Sorry, real quick.
I just normally associate ginger ale with people being sick, so I just thought maybe you were catching something.
No, ginger ale tastes good.
No,
I have ginger ale whenever I want, but yeah, it is like.
Hey, Orange, the Battler Cube is frozen on screen.
One thing at a time, people. What do you want to say, Bo?
The Battler Cube is frozen on screen.
No, it's not.
No, it's not.
It's not? Oh, I might. I'll try refreshing it.
But yeah, if you say something that people aren't supposed to know yet, you're probably gonna get server muted, person who I'm definitely talking to.
Especially if you don't have any roles.
Especially if you have read ahead.
Also, please refrain from Googling literally anything about Umineko. If you have a question,
that was Robo in particular.
Yes.
No, ask the funny people who know what's up.
Yeah, again,
I have played dangerously with that, and it's worked, but I can imagine it won't work every time.
It will not. It will actually blow up in your face.
I didn't search up shit.
All right.
What are you talking about?
Okay. Who's ready to hear Battler say something really insensitive?
Sure.
All right.
All I could hear was the sound of the rain.
A normal episode.
The voices from the kids' TV program Maria was watching, and the engrossed Maria's cackling voice. In other words... Oh, no! Stop that! In other words, what greeted them as they returned dumbfounded from that horrible, bizarre scene was the voice of Maria as she rolled around laughing at the TV. Those who returned to the room didn't know how to explain to Maria that her mother was dead, and was trapped by a suffocating silence.
Hey, Orange, we don't hear anything. Is it audioless? Is there any music?
What? I mean, it's just... rain? Oh, it's like... Oh, yeah, because the rain is really fucking quiet.
Oh, I thought it was the Twitch stream.
I turned up the decibel levels in the stream a little bit. You sure you need to turn your stream up a little bit? I don't know. Fucking here.
It's super quiet.
Mine's at max.
Is my local volume not high enough? What the fuck?
No music, no nothing.
Can everyone hear us?
I mean, there's no music happening right now.
They can hear us, but we can't. There's no like ambient music or like anything.
I mean, it's just rain.
We can't even hear that.
I mean, for fuck's sake, I haven't fucked the fucking audio at all. Here, I'll just everybody who doesn't know what's going on, look away from the screen.
Well, hold on. Let's make sure that it's not just like this scene that's quiet.
All right, well,
it could just be that the scene doesn't have music.
Okay, never mind. Yeah, it has its sound. Fuck out.
Mm-hmm.
The thing is, Kaneko, the rain is barely audible on the Twitch stream.
Yeah.
Okay.
Alright, well, I'm probably gonna blow my ears out. Let me just fucking adjust the balancing on my goddamn headphones.
It's weird that there's not even music going off.
Well, you also don't want that background sound to be louder than us.
I know. At first, Maria returned to those stairs with dubious looks. I say as I'm going to adjust the decibel level so that it doesn't fucking blow out the audio on the stream.
Blop.
But when she realized we weren't trying to blame her for anything, she ignored them and again immersed herself in the TV program. The children wordlessly sat down heavily on the sofa. Their minds were probably blank from their state of shock. Everyone had already cried and mourned so much, and now they just vaguely sat there, their faces seeming to have lost all emotion. Only Cannon returned to his usual calm expression. However, that probably didn't mean he'd be able to wipe out the shock. Nothing's reflected in his eyes as he stared into empty space. Oh! Missy Peter, thank you! What the fuck, Nor? Why'd you ping me? Well, for the record, Nor, I might as well just address this with you right now. There's way too many people in here already. We need some people in the Twitch chat. So you remember that horrible scene? He started muttering about how he couldn't believe it. How it couldn't have been something from this world, and that must have been the work of demons. Every now and then, his mutterings produced a question directed at Nanjo. But the latter kept repeating in a calm, doctor-like manner that nothing could be understood by only glancing at the scene. And until the police arrived, they wouldn't learn anything. However, Nanjo only appeared calm next to Hideyoshi, who simply couldn't suppress his agitation and fear. In fact, Nanjo also received a huge shock, and his face was a deathly pale. Maybe that atmosphere is why she tried to raise the challenge and take charge. Natsuki appeared to be unchanged from her normal attitude, and she briskly gave directions.
I will go see Father. Genji, quickly contact the police.
Certainly.
Wonder if you would allow me to tag along Natsuhine-san. Since Cross-Nissan is now gone, the task of aiding Father has been left to me. It would be improper of me to relax you while relying entirely on you. I am making myself sound like too much of a bitch right now, and I'm just going to hold this fan and continuously nag you to an early grave.
Based. Natsuhi was struck speechless by Ava's aggressive move in a situation like this. She seemed to be claiming that, with Kraus dead, the one to take responsibility shouldn't be his wife, but herself, the next highly ranked in the family. Maybe she hadn't been at all happy when Natsuhi took command without reverence to her in such an extreme situation. However, even Ava's mind had been blank from the shock until a moment ago. She only came to her senses after Natsuhi started giving orders.
Just do as you like, bitch.
Natsuhi started walking without saying a word more. Ava followed behind her. As they did, Kumasawa ran into the parlor. She usually wasn't the kind of person to run around, so under normal conditions, most people wouldn't have taken her entrance as a sign that something was the matter. But because everyone was still stricken with shock, they hardly even noticed her.
Madame?
If you're looking for Natsuhi-san, she went to see father. She'll probably be back soon. What happened, Kumasawa-san?
That is... in the dining hall. Blood. Blood everywhere.
Everyone thought the same thing. I hope I misheard that. Any container can only hold so much, and no one here would be capable of handling yet another tragedy. They all thought it. I hope I misheard that.
What happened in the dining hall? Jelly.
You're muted, Jelly.
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 Yeah, I'm muted. I was saying it, but okay, let me try again. I went into the dining hall to set up for breakfast. Ah! That's not really us. Right.
The first one to start running was George. His harsh footsteps jogged Hideyoshi and Nanjo to their senses, and they chased after him. Battler and the others followed. They flew into the dining hall one after another, but they didn't find any change that might have caused Kumasawa to go pale. For those who had viewed the gruesome scene in the storehouse, it was a bit of an anticlimax. However, Kumasawa, who had followed them, pointed it out. There really was some traces of blood remaining on the floor. Compared to that terrible scene, it wasn't very impressive. However, if you calmly thought about it, this definitely indicated the loss of a lot of blood.
There's another puddle of blood over here. What in the world?
It appears to me that a great deal of time has passed. It's probably safe to say that they were killed here last night.
Definitely looks that way. They were talking together in the dining hall until late into the night. After that, someone must have forced their way in.
Dad, when did you and Mom slip out of the meeting and go to sleep?
It was a little past midnight. So, we should probably assume it happened after that.
Sorry, I was writing a note.
Alright, can you use the little note, the note thing that we made for you in When They Live? You wanna write stuff down in there. Yeah.
Yeah, but she's only got one screen, so...
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I've only got the one screen.
Okay.
No, but that is a good idea, though. I will take that into consideration. Are you kidding me? Ugh, give me a break.
Oh, god damn it. So, can I put some fucking context for this? Canon calls Jessica Milady.
Sure
no,
does.
I think it actually makes sense.
Tip your boy already, Joshy.
Say the line, Joshy.
Milady, please stay strong.
You said Milady.
Fuck you.
I don't get it.
After saying that hell on earth in the storehouse, this is nothing.
I don't get it. What's so weird about him saying Milady?
I'll send you the
actually
thing.
not get it?
Wait, I'll send you the thing, Todd.
Like tipping a
no,
fedora, fedora
I do not
tipping.
get it.
Okay, so there's this like joke about like men's rights activists saying "milady" and tipping their fedoras, and it's just like a sign of derision because. Yeah.
Wait, that's a sign of derision? I thought that was a sign of respect.
No, but it's sort of like misguided respect to the point where it's incredibly passé to do.
Basically, early simping.
It's not even that. It is also kind of transferred over into like fucking what was it?
Incels?
Basically, incels and like the quote-unquote nice guys. The guys that are like, I'm super nice when all girls like me, and then when a girl rejects them, they go, oh, I can't believe you're such a fucking bitch!
What the
Basically
fuck is wrong with our society?
Basically, Adachi.
Look, we're
a society that we live in.
I'm a clown of fate.
We all are.
Yeah, I can't really find a thing. I figured that Know Your Meme would have had this, but I can't find it.
Alright.
Alright, moving on. Thank you for the explanation.
Enough bullshit.
Really? Good for you. I feel like my head's gonna explode. This is the dining hall, right? Every day, this is where I'd eat, complain about school, complain about homework, talk to my dad about my grades. That's what this place is to me.
You sure you didn't have some kind of like small bomb on your skull or something?
Shut the fuck up, Battler.
Milady, it wouldn't be good to remain here any longer. Let's return to the parlor.
I agree. Uncle Hideyoshi! I think this will be really important to the police. Do you think it'd be bad if we trampled all over it? Riley proposes in a slightly firm voice, as along with Cannon, he grabbed the pail and shaking Jessica's shoulders.
Everything's just as Battler-san said. There is nothing more to be gained from remaining in this room.
Nanja spoke while looking inside everyone's pale faces. Even though that horrible scene in the storehouse felt like something not of this world, at least then we'd be able to leave, to cut ourselves off from that place and run away. Everyone had shared in that feeling. However, the dining hall was different. It was the mansion, the main building on this estate. Jessica had said it should have been one of the most calming places even inside the mansion. These were all the relatives that had eaten lunch and dinner yesterday. The shock of seeing this place smeared with blood reminded us of that horrible spectacle in the storehouse, and forced to accept that we hadn't really been able to run away from the scene of that tragedy.
I agree too. The culprit must have left traces in this room. Amateurs like us shouldn't stir the place up. Let's leave quickly. Quickly! Quickly!
Hideyoshi also understood the meaning of what Battler had said, pushed everyone to hurry out of the dining hall. The way we were taken, the way we were then, looking at that blood any longer would have been too harsh. Nobody went against his words. Everyone raced each other out of the dining hall. It was almost as though the last person in the room would be trapped in there, all alone. Last one alive locked the door.
Alive?
Eh. Once in the hallway, we lent a hand to Kumasawa, who was still trembling and leaning against the wall, and we all headed back to the parlor together. Then Genji returned.
Oh, Genji-san. Were you able to contact the police?
As to that, I'm afraid I must apologize. I don't know if it was a failure of the radio or something else that caused it, but...
What the? Shouldn't you contact the police? So you couldn't contact the police, I mean. Both the phone and radio failed?
My apologies. The boat will be arriving on Monday. I believe we will be able to borrow their communication equipment.
Isn't there a boat on this island? Can't we just take a little trip out to Nijima Police Department?
Hideyoshi-san, that would be impossible with this weather.
At the very least, we can't do anything until the typhoon passes us by.
Kurosama's boat is being repaired, not on the island. Therefore, we must wait for the boat coming on Monday.
How could this happen? 6 people are dead. The phones and radio aren't working and there's no boat. So until the typhoon passes and the boat comes, in other words, until tomorrow morning, we're gonna be stuck on this island, unable to contact the police, aren't we?
Which means that, not just us, the criminal who killed everyone is also confined to this island.
That certainly follows. The culprit who killed everyone is still here on the island.
So the bastard who killed Dad and the others must still be hiding somewhere, unable to escape. Damn it! Damn it, damn it, damn it! Ugh! I'll catch that bastard. No way I'll hand him over to the police. I'll slice him into bits myself. Ah!
Maria finally realized something odd was happening in the parlor.
Oh fuck, she doesn't know.
Rather than noticing something odd, it's probably better to say that she felt unhappy and neglected. Everyone was getting so excited about something only she didn't know about.
So normal for Maria.
Jessica, did someone die?
The way she spoke was completely calm. Just as though she was talking about someone who had appeared in the television drama, even though it was someone else's problem. Jessica probably didn't like that. As though trying to say, can't you tell just by looking at me? Overwhelmed with grief, she flared up at Maria.
They all died! Everyone! Everyone! My dad and Battler's parents! Goda-san and Shannon! And even your mother too!
Stop it, Jessica-chan! You aren't the only one who's sad!
Maria-san. I know this will come as a shock, but please listen. Your mother has died.
Yeah, someone killed her. I know it's sad, but stay strong, alright?
How many people died? 6 people! 6 people! Damn it, damn it, damn it! How could anyone do something that cruel? There's a limit to how cool you can be if you're human. I don't know who it is, but the culprit isn't human! Not anymore! There's no way that their blood is red!
Think they're an alien or something?
The culprit isn't human. It is the chosen by the
Huh? Hey, Maria. Did you say something just now? Maria just said something. Since the words were so remotely separated from the flow and context of the conversation, I couldn't understand them for a second. I asked her to repeat it again. I was shocked by the sudden sound of Aunt Natsuhi's loud voice coming from the entrance to the parlor. It looked like Aunt Natsuhi and Aunt Ava had returned from their trip to see grandfather.
You can't contact them even with the radio? If we can't use it at a time like this, why do we even have an emergency radio?
My apologies. It was supposed to have maintenance inspection every year.
Wait, don't you have one of those boat signaling devices that makes a flashing light? Couldn't you use that to contact the next island?
We do not have such equipment. My sincere apologies.
Ugh.
Just then, Kumasawa arrived, pushing a serving cart loaded with breakfast. As there was no way we'd be able to eat in the dining hall, Hideyoshi'd ordered to take it to the parlor.
Why are we eating breakfast here?
Ah, Natsui-san, I'll tell you later. More importantly, Eva, how's father?
Judging by the fact that he is not with you, it seems he will not leave his room, not even for a situation like this.
Wow. He wasn't there. The room was empty.
So...
Just like my soul.
Disappeared from his study unnoticed. Kinzo's study is everything from a bed to a toilet to a bathtub, so it's extremely rare for him to go outside. However, he does sometimes go out for a walk on a whim without telling anybody, which on several occasions has led to a huge uproar throughout the house. He usually comes back as soon as he gets hungry. Usually.
So, just to point out to people, I guess there's not like a single status effect, which is just death. There are other status effects, too. So for Kinzo, he's grayed out because he's missing.
Mm-hmm. That makes sense, actually.
Yeah.
What the? Where could he have gone at a time like this?
Do you mean to say the master has left the study?
That is correct. I was surprised myself. I wonder when he left his room. Do any of you have an idea?
Natsuhi looked at Genji and Canon as she said this. Maybe she was trying to ask whether the servants who served directly under the One-Winged Eagle knew of a place he might go. However, it was probably the other way around. Their faces made it clear that those who knew Kinzo best realized even more than the rest how impossible it was for him to be outside of his room.
Even we have no idea. As you all know, within the study, the master has everything to a place to sleep to a bathroom. I couldn't imagine him leaving that room except for a significant reason.
In that case, what? Isn't it natural to assume that one of those significant reasons came up?
We still cannot be certain that's the case. Anyway, he is a fickle person, so it's possible he went for a walk by himself, unaware of the current situation. If that is the case, then we must act in haste to tell him what has happened and ask for instructions.
That's right.
Although I don't want to think about it, it's possible something has happened to him, isn't it? I'd rather not even consider such a sinister possibility.
No one has seen Kinzo since the discovery of those 6 terrible corpses. On top of that, the phones were broken. The radio wouldn't reach anyone, and there was no way to contact the police. Apparently, the typhoon would leave tomorrow, and a boat would come. But until then, no one could rely on anyone outside the island, nor could they escape the island. The tragedy hit everyone so abruptly they'd lost all their composure. Everyone felt a heavy silence. Everyone was important. Even though they needed to do something, they couldn't think of anything. Some of them held their hands on their arms while others got irritated. Right now, no one could explain what was occurring on the island or Kenjima. On this island or Kenjima. You have to survive until dawn, otherwise we'll all be dead by daylight.
God damn it.
Damn it.
I can't believe we're dead by the baby.
Let's go.
And Until Dawn is also a game, so that works too.
That was the double joke, yeah. After that,
it was dry and tasteless.
Beware, folks, that's the dumbest joke we tell all day.
Riri.
I am the king of comedy. After that, we ate the breakfast Kumasawa-san had made, which felt dry and tasteless. Of course, this is right after something like that had happened. No one felt particularly hungry. However, we understood logically that not eating would weaken our bodies. It would also be rude to Kumasawa-san, who had made the breakfast. Kumasawa-san had taken some unusual Western vegetables, ones that Goda-san had probably ordered from his ultra-elaborate meals, cooked them in a Japanese style, which made them turn an unpleasant color. As to what Goto-san had been planning to cook with those ingredients, right then I couldn't even imagine it. If I did think about it, I'd be reminded of the way that Goto-san died, and a sour taste would fill the inside of my mouth. Everyone pretended to eat for the time being, but of course, no one made much progress. Then we began pooling our knowledge of the current situation. First off, 6 people, which included Uncle Kraus, my dad, Kirie-san, Rosa, Goto-san, and Shannon-chan, had been found in the Rose Garden storehouse as brutally mutilated corpses. And yet we still couldn't contact the police, as both the phones and the radio were unusable. Until the typhoon passed, there was nothing we could do. Furthermore, Grandfather, who might have hoped we might be able to show a little leadership in this kind of situation, had disappeared some time ago. Goto-san hadn't made breakfast, so Grandfather's stomach must have been empty. And if he had just been taking a casual walk, we should have been able to hear him while whining about how hungry he was by now. Despite that, he hadn't appeared. There was no more than a small chance that he'd gotten caught up in the crime. According to my aunts, on their way back from Kinzo's study, they'd searched for him, calling on every floor, but they were unable to find him. Considering the timing of it all, it's only reasonable to assume that this disappearance has something to do with the crime. We figured Dad and the rest were probably killed in the dining hall, and painstakingly moved to the storehouse. So maybe Grandfather has already been killed, and dragged to some strange place where we simply hadn't discovered yet. No one actually said it out loud, but this theory seemed extremely convincing. John?
Writing notes?
Oh, she's noting. Okay.
Unless she's doing something else.
I mean...
One sec.
Yeah, if it was just a big explanation, I'm sure she's just taking notes. Or a big info dump.
Logo's vented.
What? Huh? Kana's just taking her notes.
Mm-hmm. Also, it's good to leave a long pause, because in the track I'll be able to tell when to, like, cut.
Mm-hmm.
So how are you all doing?
Yeah, I'm fine.
Just a little anxious from last night.
Okay.
And I had a Subway today. It was a good Subway.
What'd you get?
I got Italian bread. I got Italian bread 2 Italian bread footlongs with turkey, spinach, pepperoni, pepper jack cheese, and yellow mustard.
Ooh.
Nice.
Oh yeah, well, yeah. Drink real quick. I'll be real quick.
What the fuck kind of shirt is Natsui wearing?
It's a fancy shirt.
Good one.
I thought it was a button up, but you don't see the buttons.
No, it's like laced up. Or tied up. It's like a corset, kind of.
Maybe?
Like a fabric corset.
Fabric conforming to a figure.
One. So true.
Damn.
Okay, I'm back.
Oh, okay.
Welcome back.
My mom came in my room and told me goodnight.
Okay.
Oh, wholesome.
Well, I hope you do have a good night.
Don't your moms used to tell you guys that too?
Yes.
Used to.
She does it every night. She even texts my sisters that.
Oh.
I do not get that happening to me.
That's sad.
Every once in a while.
Wow, Umineko!
I really don't
You
care.
unloved son!
My parents care for me in different ways. Don't worry about it.
They're built different.
Alright. Back to it.
I also grabbed water because I can feel my sinus is draining my throat again.
Okay.
Luckily now I've got Propel, it's lemon blackberry flavor. Seriously, get Propel, it's very delicious. We will go check all of the windows that are locked. Let me try that again. But we will go check that all of the windows and doors are locked. We must also conduct a thorough search for Bob. The children must remain in this room. Ava-san and Hideyoshi-san, I'm sorry, but please stay here with the children.
I'm back.
I'd like to ask you the same, Dr. Nanjo.
I understand.
Woody woody.
I will wait here.
On Natsuhi followed the servants. Genji-san, Kumasawa-san, and Kanon-kun out of the parlor. All those left was on Ava and Uncle Hideyoshi. Oh, and Uncle Hideyoshi, Dr. Nanjo, and the 4 of us children. A total of 7 people.
Let's all stick together. Maybe we'll watch some television while we wait. Though I doubt we'll find anything good in the middle of a day on Sunday.
Uncle Hideyoshi started acting cheerfully, trying to brighten up this gloomy atmosphere.
Huh. Good show! Watch it! Watch it!
Oh, really? You want to watch TV, Maria-chan? Then come watch it with your uncle.
Maria's the only one who joined in. Even though Maria had been told of her mother's death, she didn't show the slightest flicker in her emotions. It was really normal for a 9-year-old girl like Maria to act so much like a very young child. Everyone else's mood failed to improve, and they each just sank absent-mindedly into their sofas. Aniki, can I ask you something?
What is it?
Just now, in the storehouse. There's something about Shannon-chan and a ring. Did you give that to her? George Aniki didn't answer, but he hung his head and closed both of his eyes. There could be no clearer response.
Quit it, Battler. Figure it out yourself, dumbass.
Yeah, you're right. I shouldn't have asked.
That's right. It was me. Last night I proposed to her. That was when I gave her the ring. I told her that tomorrow that she should put on whatever finger she wanted as her answer. I guess it was a pretty pretentious thing to say.
That ring had been on the ring finger of Shannon-chan's left hand.
Well, several years ago, Shannon came to me asking for advice. About you, George Nissan.
I wonder what she could have said.
I'll never tell.
Here you are telling it. Mind explaining that?
God damn it! Shannon was always really bad at lying. Like, really bad. It was obvious pretty quickly that you were the one she was talking about. She asked whether it'd be okay for her to get close to someone. Even though she was only a servant.
I mean, furniture is made to be sit on.
What are you implying?
I'm implying a lot of things.
Hey, why call you sell furniture if you don't even let me sit
What
on
are you
it?
implying about this 16-year-old?
Implying that it was a different time.
She asked about what kinds of things boys like. What kind of clothes she should wear to make them happy. Lots of stuff like that.
Well, I guess you could say I felt envious, hearing her say that. So then she was given an engagement ring, and it all ended right there.
I know people value things differently. But being proposed to by a man? Riri, no. Well, it can be the high point of your life. So I'm sure... last night, I'm sure Shannon was happy. From the bottom of her heart. Happier than she's ever been since the day of her birth.
George Anarchy sighed deeply without raising his head. Heavy tears had risen to his eyes.
It seems that Shannon was on duty in the guest house last night. But because she was too embarrassed to go back to the guest house with me, she went over to the mansion.
Think about how Shannon must have felt. When you receive an engagement ring, then no matter how much warning you've been given beforehand, it's perfectly normal to get so excited that your mind goes blank. She must have been incredibly embarrassed.
And then Shannon went to the mansion. Even though she hadn't been assigned there, helped Goda-san with his work. And got caught up in this crime. If only I hadn't given her that ring on that day. In that place. Shannon wouldn't have... Saya wouldn't have been caught up in that crime.
Anarchy. That's the one place where you're wrong. It's definitely wrong. So don't cry anymore.
Oh God.
Also, I have my mic off. I don't know why my name is continuously glowing like that. I think that's just a bug.
Probably just a
bug.
Yeah. I have an idea of how to fix that, but I'll worry about that later.
What was your idea?
Don't worry about it. It involves settings.
Battler-kun. Let's leave him be.
After Oneva said that, I stopped talking to him. Misplaced words of comfort might actually do more harm than good. Jessica sat down next to Anarchy and put an arm around him. Maybe only Jessica, who had known about Anarchy and Shannon's love since the beginning, and who had even discussed that relationship with Shannon, could comfort Anarchy now. I went over to Oneva and sat down on the opposite sofa.
Battler-kun, you really are strong. It looks like you kept a good hold on yourself.
Well, look, the depths of love become the depths of the wound, right? After all, it's not like how that old bastard died had anything to do with me. I felt bad about Kyrie-san, but, well, she wasn't actually my parent.
My. If not so, you certainly weren't crying a lot back then.
Well, I did think at least that much crying was due to his gratitude to the parent who raised me.
The speed of that changeover and that dry tone must have come from Rudolph. That kid would always get so violently happy, sad, and angry. But he'd always regain his cool immediately afterwards.
It's nothing like that. I haven't really been able to get over the shock yet. I think the only difference between me and everyone else is the kinds of emotions it stirred in me.
What do you mean?
I've been acting much calmer than George, Anarchy, and Jessica. It wasn't because my sadness was any less intense, or because I'd already recovered. My sadness was simply getting replaced gradually with a different emotion. Rather than sad, I'd say I'm more pissed off. The bastard did this in wire. Kind of eating at me that I didn't get a chance to smack him upside the face. That was what I really wanted to do. I couldn't forgive myself if I just sat there, overwhelmed with sadness and hugging my knees. The time Dad and the others were killed, the sound has been covered by the typhoon. Because the bastard responsible for all this is still somewhere on the island.
Yes, that would seem to be the case. I wonder if they're hiding somewhere in that dark forest even now.
I felt like I'd had a very similar conversation with Kyrie-san the night before. Ah, that's right. After the letter from the person claiming to be Beatrice appeared at the dinner table last night, I thought whether or not a 19th person actually existed. On Eva. I think this murder has anything to do with the letter from Beatrice last night.
That one? Well, I wonder. All of the siblings agree that the mysterious letter was sent to further complicate the problem of father's inheritance. As to whether that and the case this morning are related, it's impossible to tell at this stage.
Was the letter really given to Maria by some witch called Beatrice?
How could it be? All of it was a farce designed by father, wasn't it? He made Shannon-chan or someone wear the dress from the portrait and trick Maria-chan, right? Isn't that just the kind of overly intricate prank father would pull?
Last night, I talked with Kyrie-san about whether Beatrice actually exists. And Kyrie-san said that Beatrice is probably one of the 18 of us.
Isn't that obvious? There's no one else on this island beside us, right? Then there must be someone amongst us who's pretending to be Beatrice.
There's no one else but us on the island, you think?
Obviously, right? Are you saying there could be someone else here other than us? No one is on this island except us. There were only 18 people. So the one pretending to be Beatrice has to be one of those 18. Simple as that.
Kyrie-san denied the existence of a 19th person by spinning the chessboard around. Even though Ava hadn't constructed an argument that complicated, her opinions were at least the same. Except, if that's the case, our situation starts to look very ugly. At the time of Beatrice's letter, the whole thing could be passed off as a prank set up by someone or another. However, if we're assuming that there's no 19th person, we can't ignore this anymore. In other words, if there is no 19th person, the culprit who killed Dad and the others is also one of the 18, right? So, in other words, the person who killed them is one of the people inside this very mansion right now. Ava smiled meaningfully. Because she thought that this conclusion should have been obvious from the very beginning.
The culprit carried the bodies of those 6 into the storehouse. But even that was an impressive feat, don't you think? That shutter is always closed and locked, right? In other words, in order to carry them into the storehouse, the culprit would need to unlock the shutter. Understand?
Is it possible the shutter was left open by mistake that day?
The servant said it's always kept locked. In other words, unless the culprit took the keys from the servant room, and there's no way they could have opened the storehouse.
I wonder if the key in the servant's room was the only one.
Sorry, Genji-san said that was the case. Which means the culprit knew where that single key was kept and took it. Just now I watched Kanon-kun return the key to the servant room. The wall was packed with keys, and I don't think a novice would know where or what those keys went to what. The culprit was miraculously able to find a storehouse key amongst all of those. Furthermore, even though the key didn't have a tag or anything sticking to it, they knew it was the key to the storehouse behind the rose garden. And that means they also knew where the storehouse was. I'll say it even clearer. The culprit knew the inside of the servant room well.
Our argument was extremely plain and clear. If the bodies had been found thrown somewhere in the bushes of the rose garden, that wouldn't have been much to go on. However, if there was only one key to the storehouse in the servant room, and it was stored with such a large group of keys, the novice would not be able to tell them apart. Seems that the culprit was someone who went to the servant room a lot and was familiar with the location of the keys. The family member didn't normally go into the servant room, which means that one of the servants is the culprit.
I'm sorry, but even your auntie can't say any more than that. However, I'll tell you one thing.
What's that?
It's reasonable to think that the culprits, are multiple in number and fairly well armed. They'd have to be, wouldn't they? They had to assault the 4 in the dining room and kill them, drag a total of 6 bodies all the way to the storehouse beyond the rose garden, and arrange for that disgusting makeup and the graffiti on the shutter. There's no way that a single culprit could carry all of that out on their own, right?
Yeah, it made sense. Probably wouldn't have been possible for a single person with enough time, but it would take so incredibly long. It's probably safe to assume that a significant number of people were involved. Whew. So, what you mean is, maybe all the servants were in cahoots.
Please keep it quiet, okay? It wouldn't be right to voice mere speculation like this. And if it really is true, what would you do next? They might not let us leave here alive. This is an opponent who had no trouble killing Nissan and the 3 others. Right now, the only one I can count on to fight with me are the 3 in my family and maybe you, which comes to a total of 4 people, right? We're no better off than they were last night. In short, it'd be easy for the culprits to massacre the rest of us.
I'd been playing detective with Aunt Ava, trying to expose the person who had killed Dad and the rest before the police did.
Feels more like she's playing him.
If only I could cleverly penetrate the culprit's identity and stick the proof in their face. I've been so sure that, just like in one of those detective movies, the culprit would then give up and surrender. However, the culprit would only surrender if there was no way for them to fight back. People behind the crime on this island were far from hopeless. I didn't be able to massacre all the remaining people here. On top of that, this island was like a giant closed room, cut off from the outside world by the typhoon. They had a full day until tomorrow to kill, scheme, and camouflage themselves. In short, it wasn't a safe atmosphere where they could get very far by playing detective. To the contrary, we were at a stage where we had to be scared stiff, since playing detective might displease the culprits, cause them to commit another mass murder.
Well, it is just a possibility, right? But if I can't bring myself to trust the servants yet. And that doesn't mean I only suspect them. Don't you think there might be some mastermind behind all this?
Mastermind? Why do you say that?
Sorry. It's just a feeling. Think about what the word servant literally means. It means someone who serves as someone else's arms and legs, right? It was a bunch of Ashirmia family members who got killed. So naturally there must be someone involved who stands to gain from that result.
That was also plain and clear. The Ashirmia family had been right in the middle of a discussion about how to distribute the inheritance when grandfather died. That case followed the standard form of any classic mystery novel. The crime was definitely caused by someone who with ties to the Ashirmia family. He was involved with the inheritance problem. Aunt David probably wrote a few books in that genre herself. Her arguments may have had a few blind assumptions in it, but it was standard conclusion that anyone might have reached. I think most people would end up suspecting the servants, even if they used different reasoning to get there. Especially the story about the key to the shutter. I mean, it's very easy to suspect that one of the servants was involved. And that's why I don't like it.
What do you mean you don't like it?
Nah, just talking to myself. I tried to dodge her question by joking, but I couldn't erase the sense of unease welling up inside of me. After all, her conclusion was such an easy one to reach. A conclusion that anyone could reach. And I just couldn't be satisfied with that. If I tried spinning the chessboard around like I learned from Kyrie-san, this is exactly why a servant couldn't possibly be the culprit. If the servants really were the culprits, they wouldn't hide the bodies in a place connected to themselves. Why on earth would they use the Rose Garden shit if they were the ones in charge of the key that could unlock it? The police would probably immediately pursue whoever had been in control of the key. Probably possible that some other facts might come to light as a result. The more we think about the servants as culprits, the less reason they had to carry the bodies into the storehouse. What if they knew we'd think that, and put the corpses in the storehouse for that very reason? No, that's completely impossible. When the police come in and inspect the scene of the crime, they'll probably be able to uncover many things. No matter how carefully the culprit carried out that murder, some trace will definitely be found. In other words, they had everything to lose and nothing to gain. If you think about it that way, and look at the murder game from the culprit's side, hard to imagine why they'd want to call attention to the corpses. Once the corpses were found, it could result in someone sending a report to the police. It might make the remaining people more cautious. It might make the survivors start to search for the culprit. None of these things would make life any easier for the culprit. So like the words of the main character's mother in a novel I had read recently called Higurashi no Nako Kuro ni.
Fuck you!
Every story has a beginning, a middle, and an end.
What the fuck?
Oh my god!
Wow, they even adapted that into an anime.
No. Somewhere Ryukishi's just jerking himself off saying, "Oh yeah, I got to reference that."
You know what? I'm jerking off now.
Wait,
what?
Series or the next universe?
Instant regret.
I fucking love that, even though I just yelled "fuck you."
Yeah. I mean, hey, this means it's the Akasaka time. Oh, wait, fuck. Zest hasn't read it yet!
God damn it, a witch!
Accidentally spoiling people.
Akasaka.
Don't worry about it. I'll explain it when he's not here.
Akasaka you.
Yeah, Zaz still hasn't finished Higurashi.
Okay, anyways.
Okay.
Eliminating that beginning is essential to the perfect crime. Right now, we don't know who our grandfather is. We don't know if he's already become a victim or if he's one of the culprits. And this state of confusion must be beneficial to the killer. The culprit has absolutely nothing to gain by showing us the bodies in such an obvious way, and making us all realize that there's been a murder. In fact, this is the perfect place to spin the chessboard around. In other words, showing us the corpse in such a flashy way must have been the culprit's goal in and of itself. So at the very least, to the culprit, the appearance of 6 corpses there meant more than the deaths themselves. Wait, I don't think... That's a bit of a weird syntactical error. Why the fuck is that there? I think someone screwed up a little bit. In other words, the culprit wanted this murder on display. To whom? To us. This is a message. The culprit's trying to show something in our face. I don't know what it is. At this point in time, that this vulgar mass murder isn't making me feel anything except the malice directed towards us all. Malice towards all of us, is it? I don't get it. Even one of the survivors had come to some connection to one of the 6 victims. Had some kind of connection. Uncle Krause's death brought Jessica the grief of losing a family member. The death of Dad and Kyrie brought me sorrow. While Aunt Rosa's death brought Maria sorrow. Maybe? Yoda-san's death probably shocked his fellow servants. Shan-chan's death brought grief both to George Aniki, who proposed to her, and Kanon-kun, who had loved her like an older sister. Everyone now on this island had received an equal amount of sadness. Aunt David was sure that the servants were in cahoots. But then how could you explain the deaths of Goda-san and Shan-chan? At any rate, by this argument, The grief caused by the 6 deaths hit everyone, but Aunt Ava and Uncle Hideyoshi. Even Aunt Ava, who directed suspicion at the servants and acted as though she herself was beyond suspicion, cannot be ruled out as a suspect. In the first place, she was able to argue that the servants were suspicious by focusing on the shutter key. But if you look at it from a perspective of motive and who would gain, Aunt Ava's name rises to the top of that list.
I know what you're thinking, Battler-kun.
Huh? Oh no. Please don't tell anybody. About my head's so full of obscene stuff.
I'm the one who's going to gain the most from these murders. Since I'm going to be a suspect anyway, I might as well get it out in the open.
Could have dodged the issue by joking around, but apparently it didn't work.
The inheritance will be divided into as many parts as there are siblings. But right now, I'm the only one of the 4 left. All of the assets of the Yoshiromiya family will become mine.
Uncle Hideyoshi heard you. He'd say, could you give it a rest? It's not funny.
I'm sorry. I was just fooling around, since I'm going to be suspected anyway, no matter how much I try to soothe it over. That's why, from my point of view, this murder might have been designed to cast suspicion on me. Unfortunately, my alibi for last night is weak.
Could you tell me a bit more about last night?
As you know, the discussion between the siblings of how to slice up and eat the inheritance continued until late in the night. But I don't know how late it lasted. My husband and I had woken up early that morning. We were so sleepy, and a little past midnight they let us go. We then returned to the guest house and rested there.
Can anyone other than Uncle Hideyoshi prove that? No, wait. Not like I suspect you or anything, okay?
Oh, are you sure about that? I don't know if it counts as proof, but when we returned to the guest house, we were greeted by Genji-san, who asked if we needed a towel. I think that should be enough to prove we returned to the guest house a little after midnight. Though if my theory was correct, the servants would all be in cahoots, and that wouldn't actually make for much of an alibi.
Hey, you've got a point there. Guess that means I'm playing detective with the real culprit right now, huh?
However, let me say this for my honor's sake. If I was after the inheritance, I'd never commit such a bizarre set of murders. After all, if I just wanted to make them forfeit their rights to the inheritance, it wouldn't matter to me how they died. It'd be done much smarter of me to try and make their deaths look like accidents.
Thank you, Tropzard, for following.
Da-da-da! Especially if you're assuming I laid out some careful plan that involved even the servants.
You've got a point there. If you're killing someone for personal gain, you definitely shouldn't make it look like a murder.
Exactly. That's why I'm in such a blue mood. The police will probably treat me like the mastermind and investigate all kinds of things. Not fun at all. Humph.
Aunt shrugged with a bitter smile. It's just as easy to suspect Aunt Ava as well as to suspect the servants. So, if we spin the chessboard around, making it possible for the culprit to be her, suspicious as she is. However, if this sort of argument always works, then that motive can never help us in any way. I mean, no, that can't be right. Knowing the motive must give us powerful clues towards knowing the culprit. That's why murderers from all time periods disguise crimes in complicated ways, cleverly preventing their motives from being discovered. I don't get it. I just don't get it. Every time I spin the chessboard around, it keeps flipping from front to back and back to front. Are all my thoughts bringing me closer to the truth? Or are they... Oh, David didn't want to talk any more than that, so I folded my arms and headed to the window to cool my head a little. Looking over the parlor, I saw George Anarchy and the others gathered, talking. They were talking about the magic circle that had been painted onto the shutter. As Uncle Hideyoshi thought back to that time, he started drawing the shape in the margins of Maria's notebook. I see. Since Maria was second only to grandfather in knowledge of the occult, she might understand what it meant.
I think it was probably something like that. It was a mark that looked like a variation of a cross. And then, surrounding the circle all around the perimeter, there were these closely packed strange letters on all four sides of the cross. And in the four corners, there was something written. Didn't look like the alphabet or something like that. It was what they call ancient characters.
And around the top of the circumference, there was a small mark. 5 small circles arranged in a plus sign and straight lines connecting them.
Ah, yeah, there were definitely something like that drawn there. Yep, there's no mistaking the shape. I don't understand the thin characters, but the arrangement was nearly the same.
Everyone was staring down at the shape, so I stared at it too. From what I'd heard, that this had been painted on the shutter to the storehouse. Some material that looked like blood. I see. This sure is unsettling.
Grandfather's probably the one who'd want to draw something this weird. Seriously, where did he go? I want to grab him and ask what the hell this is supposed to mean.
Jessica's voice contained impatience and anger. She hadn't gone so far as to say that grandfather was the culprit. But she seemed sure that grandfather knew something about the culprit's background. Of course, if you were searching for a link connecting the Ashirmia family to the occult, 10 out of 10 people would think of grandfather.
Hi-oh!
Also, to a person who knew nothing of the occult, the strange mark would have no meaning. Which meant that this might have been something addressed to grandfather. That's right. The reason this crime was shown to the survivors was so that they'd find this. In that case, where is grandfather, the essential recipient of this message, disappeared off to?
Does this shape ring any bells?
Maria looked at the shape with a serious face. Maybe she was enthusiastic because this was her area of expertise. However, her appearance was that of someone separated from the events at hand. As though this thing hadn't been drawn on the shutter closed around her mother's corpse.
My first impression was that the design resembled a German cross.
Certainly does have that kind of design. Does that mean it has something to do with Germany?
They were killed by the Nazis.
The German cross... Wait, no, that's not my voice. The German cross was originally a crest from a religious order of knights and was supposed to protect the pilgrims traveling to sacred places.
So in other words, this magic circle might have some religious meaning? This is starting to sound like gibberish.
I looked over at all of them, preparing to jump into the discussion. Something shocked me. Maria was smiling. An eerie and incomprehensible expression on her face.
She is way too wide of a smile and way too close.
It was almost as though she was making fun of everyone's ignorance. It was an expression I wouldn't have dreamed to find on Maria's face. And she laughed. That eerie, jarring laugh. Something I didn't want to believe was possible. And I was looking right in the front of my eyes.
Oh god!
Fuck Nugget!
Orange, is this new to you?
Well, no. For the record, I've seen this. I didn't think this was used until way later.
No, it's used pretty early on.
Oh fuck! Hey, so Khan, you need to channel your gremlin for a little bit.
Yeah.
Can I channel my heartbeat for a fucking second? Oh god, I can't even stare at that. Oh my god.
Make the emote.
y'all.
Put the emote in there.
Wait, what did you tell us?
Oh my god.
Look in chat.
Okay, so that's a possessed girl.
Maria was.
Oh
my god.
Look, that girl needs some head pad stat to calm her down.
She needs a kick. A swift kick.
Look, I didn't say the type of head pat. You can head pat with the foot to the head across the. This joke is not good.
Oh, just like that one move in Dragon Ball Z, Budokai 3
I
when
did not come into this expecting to be fucking jump scared, man.
Yeah, what's your best gremlin laugh?
Oh, give me a sec. I gotta take a good drink of water for that.
Yo!
There it is. We got Maria grab. In the.
Oh, we got that as an emote now in the Discord. Hey, at least it's not the Higurashi eyes, like those bloodshot Higurashi eyes.
Oh, it reminds me of a dark Fluttershy I drew once.
Yeah.
That was perfect.
You aren't even close. Can't you tell just by looking?
While everyone was busy being scared out of their wits, Maria kept on cackling happily by herself. After a while, that laugh was suddenly and abruptly cut off. But her expression still looked like it belonged to someone completely different from Maria.
Oh, that smug bitch look.
This is the 7th magic circle of the sun. The characters are written in Hebrew. Give it here.
Sure.
Maria saw the writing material from the stunned Hideyoshi's hand. They were drawing another magic circle with a wrestle, next to the one Hideyoshi had drawn.
See? It looks sort of like this, right?
Yes. It was.
Maria, incredible! You really do know a lot.
I was going to smooth things over by praising Maria. Maybe she wanted to confirm that this was still the Maria we all knew so well. God, this fucking shook me. I don't know why. I knew this was coming. Maria didn't answer her in any way in particular.
I fucking love her expression right now.
Maria began swiftly writing unfamiliar characters in the corners of the shape. When Uncle Hideyoshi and Dr. Nanjo saw them, their eyes immediately began to open wide.
Written on the top and the bottom and left and right are the names of the angels who preside over wind, fire, earth, and water. Hassan, Arel, Thorlok, and Taliyahad. And in the 4 corners are the names of the 4 great kings. Ariel, Sarah, Tharstis, and Cherub. Is that what you saw?
Even if they hadn't been able to correctly write what they'd seen, when they were once again shown something identical, it wasn't difficult for them to realize the two were the same. Maria asked them whether it matched. Uncle Hideyoshi and Dr. Nanjo nodded over and over again.
Oh, there's no mistaking. Oh, there's no mistake. That's it. I'm sure there were characters that look like that. How were you able to write something like that?
There was also characters written around the circumference.
I know. Like this, right?
Maria Maria quickly began to surround the circumference with more Hebrew writing.
It's from the Psalms of the Old Testament, the 16th and 17th verses of the 116th Psalm. You must have at least read the Bible, right?
Oh no, she already has Jesus. We can't say, bitch, you need Jesus.
We have to kill Jesus. Acting as though knowing this was the only Acting as though knowing this was only common sense, Maria left. For a while, everyone, including me, was at a loss for words. A little later, George Anarchy returned to his senses and slowly managed to speak.
That's incredible. I'm surprised. So, what meaning does this magic circle have?
It's a magic circle to borrow the power of the sun. He who wears it as a talisman, drawn in gold, shall be able to break free from the bonds of any prison and receive the power to gain freedom.
To break free from bonds and gain freedom? It sounds deep.
The word bonds is not limited in its interpretation to some kind of physical object. Therefore, it does not only hold meaning for people locked up in an actual jail. It can also refer to the release of mental bonds, such as ties of obligation and inescapable fate.
Ties of obligation and inescapable fate, you say? That's also pretty deep.
But I don't understand. What does that have to do with those 6 bodies? Far from being released, they were killed and stuffed in a storehouse, weren't they?
It's not like the magic circle was drawn for their sake. The 6 of them were there for the sake of the magic circle. It is truly pitiable.
What do you mean? What in the world do you mean when you say 6 of them were there for the sake of the magic circle?
Maria lifted up her pointer finger and waggled it as if she knew that you were making fun of us.
That's written around the circumference. Can't you read it? Oh wait, you can't! Psalms, chapter 116, verses 16 and 17. I'll read it for you. The Lord has freed me from my chains. I will offer to you the sacrifice of thanksgiving, and will call on the name of the Lord. See?
You say, I've got no idea what you're talking about.
You're saying that they're human sacrifices? Maria just read aloud was a vital part of the magic circle, and I was saying that the sacrifice had to be offered in order for this magic circle to be effective. So, human sacrifices had been offered inside the storehouse, where the magic circle had been drawn. A heartbeat later, everyone else seemed to reach the same conclusion. Some people were shocked, and others spat out that this was insane as they punched their knees. This started getting incredibly disturbing, and we couldn't accept it or understand it. I don't care what kind of magic circles or curses other people believed in. I won't pick a fight with them. They really killed Dad and the rest of the sacrifices for crap like that? I just couldn't stand that feeling. Compared to this, I prefer it all when we were just still disgusted by the theory about the fight over the inheritance. They're getting pissed off with a feeling between anger and sadness. We broke from the circle everyone was in and returned once again to the window. Something had gone insane since yesterday. There's the letter from the witch, Beatrice, that Maria read out loud at last night's dinner.
Oh, hail the turkey!
What does the turkey have to do with anything?
They said Thanksgiving.
Crimson said yes, it was sacrifice for Thanksgiving. All hail the turkey.
Sacrifice for Thanksgiving.
I know, I'm funny.
Ever since that point, it feels like we've... No. Like this whole mansion and this whole island have been getting more and more firmly locked inside some kind of bizarre world.
Don't start breaking out the Umineko meme.
When I think back on it, the letter was an invitation from the witch. The ruler of the nighttime island had invited us inhabitants of the day into another world. The phone and the radio had been interrupted and this island was shut off by the typhoon. You really could call this place another world, cut off from the real one by now. Yeah. As this island is now, it's perfectly normal for a witch to send us letters and for human sacrifice to be offered up for the sake of magic circles. So what will happen next? Will some weird people wearing goat masks start doing the Bond Festival or something?
Wait,
Bond Festival
what?
dance? Ah, it's hopeless. It's hopeless. I don't get it. Inside of my head's all screwed up. I don't know what to think. Anger, sadness. The opposing emotions all swirled up together, and they started to suck me in. Unable to resist, I could do nothing but cover my eyes with my hands. Just to my mind and body that as I started getting sucked in. Started losing heart. I began to recall a memory from when I was small. It's from when I was very young. I'd unfortunately seen a scary occult movie on TV, and for a while I hadn't even been able to go to the bathroom by myself. The old bastard gave an exaggerated laugh and said this. Oh, hey, Nora, you have a line.
Hey, Battler. Why do you think they go to all the trouble to make movies like this about demons and the occult and such? It's because they don't exist. Something that ridiculous can't be found anywhere on the planet. Because they don't exist, people want to see them, and they go to a lot of effort making them. That's why those occult movies just make me laugh. If I were forced to choose, I'd say rather than demons and monsters, this year's earnings call and angry wives are 100 million times scarier. I'll go further, okay? From my point of view, getting scared is a recreational emotion, something for people who've got room to relax both in their hearts and their lifestyle.
Fuck you!
They had so much free time they didn't know what to do with it, so in order to entertain their mind with unusual emotions, people started creating a culture with demons and the occult and stuff.
Seriously. I back then was just so damn thick-headed. I was totally taken in. Try to mess with me. This is the human world. I don't give a damn about witches, demons, magic circles, and sacrifices. The humans who killed Dad and everyone else is still on this island. That's all there is to it, right? The next person who started speaking to my heart was Kirie-san.
You see, in both chess and shogi, when you reach the very, very last stage of the game and get closer and closer to cornering your opponent, the number of optimal moves you could possibly make gets smaller and smaller. Therefore, if you're backing someone against the wall, or if someone's doing the same to you, both players' moves become infinitely easier to read. In other words, when you're completely cornered and you think you have no moves left, that is the moment when it's easiest to read your opponent. However, when a person is forced into a defensive position, they can't help but lose their ability to think clearly, so they aren't able to get their minds around their opponent's moves. That's when you spin the chessboard around.
With all my strength, I slapped my face with both hands. And with my hand with both faces. And my eyes were truly open. I don't understand anything, and you're completely cornered just like I am now. Isn't the perfect time to spin the chessboard around? On the defensive, we can't even guess the culprit's scheme. Spin it around and look at it that way. Just what might we see? First off, at the time the culprit committed the murders, they knew that the island was being cut off by the typhoon. Therefore, they should have understood that even if they carried out murders, they wouldn't be able to get away early the next morning. In short, the culprit had begun without securing a way to escape. Furthermore, that bastard tossed the corpses in the storehouse. Then was even kind enough to say, here they are, with a weird bit of graffiti. In other words, since we'd probably find the corpses sooner or later, they wanted to show them to us. We'd all been so dim. Had noticed the storage shed, the culprit's goal would not have been achieved, would it? If you think about it that way, that bastard of a culprit. Since this morning, he must have been watching our every move with bated breath. After all, if we hadn't been so kind as to discover what was on the storehouse, all of that hard work and preparation they did last night would have just gone poof. When did the culprit want to make us feel by showing us the corpses in the storehouse? The looks of the bodies had their faces notably destroyed. Was it a grudge? A warning? The defacement of the bodies had occurred after death, but it hadn't been the means by which the culprit was killed. It didn't mean anything to those who had been killed. It did have a meaning to those who found the bodies. The culprit wanted to make it appear as that they'd been killed so brutally. Ha! After thinking that way, I really want to tell that bastard to stop taking me so lightly. Who just danced to that tune? If you're told please be scared, you can't just say, really? Sure thing. Someone tells the great Ushurmia battler, the entrance is right here. I'm the kind of guy who will start wanting to sneak in through the window. Next thing that had me concerned was that so-called magic circle on the shutter. As Maria, who had shown her knowledge of the occult rival grandfathers, had recognized, that magic circle was genuine. He must have drawn the thing in pitch-black darkness, taking a lot of time and holding an umbrella in one hand. Isn't that amount of hard work and perfectionism impressive? What purpose would have been worth all that effort? We were looking for a fan of the occult in the mansion. Most likely, all of us would naturally suspect Grandfather. Did they want to make us think Grandfather was involved? But if that's all they wanted, they could have just drawn an old scribble that looked like a magic circle. It wasn't like any of us amateurs would be able to tell the difference between genuine and fake. However, this magic circle was genuine, and furthermore, it had actually been written in Hebrew. This magic circle had a message. That could only be understood by someone with knowledge of the occult. A message is a form of communication. By sending it, they were hoping for a reaction. A reaction. For some reason, we couldn't find Grandfather now. I don't know how Grandfather might have spotted the magic circle on the shutter. But did he choose to hide himself in reaction to that? No. Was it a trap to make us suspect that Grandfather had participated? You could read it either way. Damn, that's annoying. What kind of reaction was the culprit hoping to get out of us by putting on this occult show? Something that felt like the culprit's weak point. The letter from Beatrice that Maria had read aloud during last night's dinner sprang back into my mind. This was a freak who had asked to enjoy a battle of wits. Isn't that interesting? This is a battle of wits between us and the witch. We sucked up by her occult game first. We pull off her fake skin first. There's a whole day until the typhoon passes. Why not enjoy ourselves?
Is this freak on a leash?
What?
No, I think it's more of a bitch we got a problem.
Alright. Fellas at the inside of the parlor had gone quiet again. Everyone clung to their favorite sofas, some deep in thought. Some irritated, some acting depressed. Maria's once again enjoying the TV as if she never left it. She found the commercials more fun than the boring program, and happily yelled ooh ooh and giggled. I stared at each person's appearance in turn. There isn't a 19th person. The culprit must be in this room. Male wife. Other male wife. Third male wife.
Wait, who's he married to?
Child.
He has a son.
Small child.
Wait, does...
Me.
Small child.
Right now, Aunt Nancy is searching the mansion with the servants, right? Then we shouldn't say in this room. In this mansion is where the culprit has to be. After all, there was also the possibility that Aunt Nancy was behind this. We still can't deny that one of the servants might be the killer. Anyone could be guilty. Still, Aunt Nancy and the rest are taking their time. Isn't this taking a little too long just to walk around, checking the windows and doors? As I was thinking this, Natsuhi and the rest returned. None of them was missing, but our relief was short-lived. Everyone looked at Natsuhi in shock. Huh? The talk I'd had with Aunt Ava started to creep back into my mind. Possibility had enough number or weapons to kill all 6 of those at once. Natsuhi,
I'm getting the gun sprites!
Is packing.
Hi, Gun. How are you?
It's okay.
shit.
I'm Gun.
That is a tiny gun.
I got a shotgun.
It is
looks like a broomstick.
For the record, it is a Mirror's Leg lever-action rifle.
Ha! Called it.
Can you post an image of that in the chat?
It's a tiny lever action rifle.
Here, I got it. Don't worry.
Visual got it.
That is a tiny fucking rifle. Well, then again, I'm just looking at the old sprite of the image. Wow, that is a tiny rifle.
It's a small-ass gun.
What's it called again?
A Mare's
Also,
Leg.
the short barrel.
Wait, one at a time. What?
It is called a Mare's Leg.
A mare's leg. All right.
Yeah. It's a modified lever-action rifle with a smaller stock and a smaller barrel, so it can be used for mid-range. It can be used for mid to short range.
No guns.
I know. I'm explaining to people who don't. I mean, yeah, it's a Winchester. It's a modified Winchester.
Forgive me if I've startled you. I brought this to be prepared for the worst.
After all, that thing in Natsuhi's hand was a rifle. At a glance, its silhouette looked like a hunting gun. It was unusually short and kind of looked like a kid-sized weapon. However, it had a weightiness to it that made it clear it was no kid's toy.
Give me a hot second. Alright, I'm ready.
That gun is... Wait. The gun is Kinzo-san's, isn't it?
Did you know about it? That's right. I remembered it was in Father's older collection, and I managed to find it.
Whoa! Awesome. Natsuhi-san, is that thing real?
Yes, it's real. It can fire live ammunition. Long ago, Father used it to scare away wild birds. Ah, that takes me back. Where did you find that thing? No matter how much I asked him to let me touch it, he never even let me lay a finger on it. Oh! Grandfather had one of these? I didn't even know that. Long ago, Grandfather was really addicted to cowboy films. That generation really liked this kind of rifle.
Is that a Winchester? But I've never seen one that short before.
Ah! I remember. It's that gun! That really takes me back. That's the one Steve McQueen fired off and wanted, alive or dead. Father sure has good taste.
Ah, yes, Steve McQueen's Live or Dead.
Fuck! Lost. It is an item the Master ordered specifically from America long ago. As you can see, it is a working gun, so please don't tell anyone about this. It's highly illegal, you know.
Ellie. Ellie.
Oh, your mic's muted.
Not when I use push to talk instead of the manual mute.
Shelly, we have to pull your AC back from Silent Hill so you can talk.
I turned it off.
Oh, hey, there you
go. Because didn't want to disturb the recording.
Why not use push to talk?
Because I don't like holding on to a button on my keyboard all the time when I'm talking.
Why did you people... Oh, wait. Oh, hey, there's a little convenient pathway, and y'all be like, nah, bro, I gotta do the most inconvenient thing. I gotta do all the loop-de-loops, bro.
Trust me. The line.
Yeah, Shelly.
I can explain my technical problems if you want to, but I think we better keep going.
Go ahead.
Move it along, please. Nothing to see
That's
here.
a good idea.
He was quite fond of it right after he managed to acquire it. It seems the workings that ejected the cartridges were interested to him shooting it. He played around with it back in the forest all the time. It's just like Revolver Ocelot and his revolver. Oh.
Self-esteem team.
I will say it's very fun to eject bullets.
Still, it's rather disturbing. Are you sure you should be dragging this out? This is to prepare for the worst. Sorry, wasn't me who sneezed. That was my mom.
Okay.
There was probably more than one offender involved.
Rerina!
Sorry about that. Furthermore, those horrible people killed 6 of us, including my husband. I have a responsibility to protect everyone until tomorrow in my husband's place.
As Natsuki-san said this, she slumped down into one of the sofas and took a deep breath. She'd been trying to find Grandfather as well as check the doors and windows. Since Grandfather wasn't with her, she probably still didn't know where he was.
I carefully checked all of the doors and windows throughout the mansion. However, we must be prepared for anything. Everyone, I think it would be best if we all remained here. Oh, good point. If everyone's gathered here, then we can all feel more secure by keeping an eye on each other. What do you mean by that, Ava-san? Nothing really. I'm just agreeing with your opinion, aren't I?
There's a stormy atmosphere between the two of them. Think about who was most suspicious from the inheritance problem standpoint. Aunt Ava was the obvious answer. However, there was no proof that Aunt Natsuki was innocent. No. If Beatrice led us one of Grandfather's complicated pranks, think of the crime as just an extension of that. There's more than enough reason to suspect even Grandfather. Also, Aunt Natsuki thought the criminal was on the outside. But Aunt Ava thought the criminal was on the inside. In short, it was the question whether or not a 19th person existed. The same question had been repeated endlessly since last night's dinner. The letter from the witch who called herself Beatrice. So was the culprit among us, or not? Does the witch Beatrice exist, or not?
For my family, sussy bakas, or not?
Among Us.
Oh my god.
Okay.
Please, no. No more of those.
Surrounded by
Why did you suddenly pick up Sussy Baka, Shelly, out of nowhere?
I hate that word so much.
Among Us! I'm tired of seeing it!
It was on the podcast.
Among Us with
I'm gonna shit my whole ass.
There's something as stupid as a witch can't exist. Basically, that one of these relatives here, who share a common bloodline, is the culprit. That is too unpleasant to be much more comfortable to simply accept the fairy tale-like character of the witch. Witch. A witch drawing a bizarre magic circle and offering human sacrifices. If I accept that rubbish, I'd barely be able to trust the people in this room. However, damn common sense got in the way. You're repeating that witches don't exist. In that case, the culprit must be among us.
Fuck!
In the middle of the seemingly endless rain, none of us could break the silence. And glass.
Glass break.
Reference on TikToks and
can't
memes
skip
on
the word
Discord.
Among
It's
Us.
fucking.
I would like to try to escape it as much as possible, but you guys don't let me.
This has actually been a very interesting session so far.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Burn time. 1
We're still going, right?
Yeah, it's only 11:30. It's only 11:15. Eh.
Well, the new COD season comes out in like an hour, but I'll stay with you guys because I want to.
I mean, we have an hour. We're probably gonna go another hour.
You have like months to do the COD season. Come on.
Yes, but I have to wake up at 7
Got the gloating right.
tomorrow.
Alright, anyways. Lunch ended and the servants removed the tableware and went to the kitchen. The wind and rain neither weakened nor strengthened. and Silent remained cut off from the outside world. It seemed as though Natsuhi planned to stop anyone from taking a step outside the room. When it came time to prepare lunch, she finally realized that would be impossible. However, in order to avoid having anyone alone in the kitchen, she told the 3 servants to go together. Because of that, the servants were the ones given the right to leave the stuffy parlor, which was packed with 11 people. It was breakfast that immediately followed that terrible incident, preventing most of us from eating much. Everyone turned to their lunches in silence.
Kelly. Kelly.
Mike's
Kelly.
muted.
Kelly, you're muted.
Mike's muted.
He's probably working on it.
I will wash the dishes. You can rest a while, Kanan-kun, Genji-san. You want something to drink?
I don't need anything. Kanan? I don't need anything either.
You two must have been so busy and so early in the morning. It's no wonder you're worn out.
The only noise was that of Kumasawa washing the dishes, which resounded throughout the kitchen. Genji and Ken sat in some chairs a short distance away, their eyes slightly closed. As Kumasawa had said, those two probably built up a great deal of fatigue. It didn't mean they couldn't let it show in front of the relatives. Avoiding that was one of their virtues. Silence continued for some time. Ken opened his mouth and muttered,
Shannon. Why did she have to die in such a horrible way? Forget about the manner of her death. It was nothing more than bad luck. You're right. It was nothing more than bad luck.
We both fell silent once again. Ken's expression was filled with grief. Just give it a sec.
I got you. I think that Shannon-chan's actually dead. Still can't believe it. Poor thing. Not being able to see her again feels like a lie. I just wanted to see her smiling face one more time.
Kumasawa spoke with her back facing them. After all, Kumasawa hadn't seen Shannon's corpse. She had no trouble mentioning Shannon's face. Ken heard those words and reminded himself of how only half of Shannon's face had been left. His grieving expression twisted even further.
Why did Beatrice-sama do that to Shannon? If she wanted to sacrifice, there were plenty of others to choose from. Why? Why? It was nothing more than bad luck. If we were less lucky, you or I might have been lying there instead of Shannon. Or it could have been someone else entirely. Everything is left to fate. Genji-sama. You said the door to Madam's room was stained with traces of something like blood, right? The same substance that was painted on the shutter? Indeed. It was an unsettling mark. Almost as though someone with blood-stained fingers had been trying to pull out the doorknob. No, scratch through the door. That sort of unpleasant mark. So does this mean Beatrice-sama came to visit Madam's room? And tried to open the door? But couldn't...
Genji thought back to the time he had seen those traces of blood on the door to Natsuhi's room. Substances sticking to that door again around the doorknob and the marks of someone scratching against the door. Definitely appeared as though someone had tried to open the door, but couldn't. Why?
Why?
Oh, fuck.
Oh.
Go.
Why did the Madam avoid being chosen as a sacrifice? If only she'd been chosen, Shannon wouldn't have had to die.
Just then, a loud, sharp noise came from the hall. Both of them turned around, surprised. That's a pretty interesting chat you're having there. Let me join in too. Before any of the servants realized that Battler was standing in the doorway to the kitchen.
Bava-sama. How rude of us.
Genji-san and Cannon-kun stood up, surprised and hastily bowed. But I didn't care about stuff like that. We were concerned with continuing their discussion. I told them I was going to go to the bathroom, so they let me go. I'd suffocate if I was locked up in that room any longer. I was about to come ask you guys for some water, but then I overheard something pretty interesting. You need to bow your heads or anything. Please, let me hear the rest.
That just now wasn't really...
I've been listening to you for a while. Don't try to hide it now. So I'll ask directly. Who is this Beatrice? It'll be a witch from a kid's story, but it doesn't look that way now. Cannon-kun averted his gaze. Obviously they didn't want to talk about this. It only made me want to ask even more. Making an effort to smile, I grabbed the collar of his shirt. Last night. This would have been none of my business. If this morning everything's changed. No. Now that Dad and the rest have been killed, this is totally my business. I better listen to this suspicious story, don't I? I glared into Cannon's eyes and continued to avert his gaze in apparent pain. Since there was a big difference in our heights, Cannon had to stand on his toes and looked like it hurt a bit.
Shelly, up.
I saw it. There's, Please let go of him. Alan-san isn't really hiding anything.
Then you won't have any problem talking about it, right? It's only being out of the loop, you know. To further twist up his collar, Genji-san cut between us and spoke. His expression were faint traces that he made up his mind to do something. Apparently he had no intention of hiding it.
I can tell you about it. Cannon only hesitated because you might have taken it badly, Bava-sama.
Hesitating, huh? Not very manly of you. Whatever it is you're talking about, it's even more unpleasant having it kept a secret. Tell me about it. Like you have anything better to do before tomorrow comes. A slightly spooky story might be the best way to avoid getting bored. Genji-san and Cannon-kun looked at each other, then nodded as though they decided to talk.
Understood. Please ask us anything. We will talk.
Right. Then I'll ask. Who in the world is Beatrice? All I know is that she's a witch who lives in the forest of Rokenjima. I've heard it's a story that grandmother or someone invented to keep people out of the dangerous forest. Is that wrong?
No, it isn't wrong. It's as you say. Beatrice is a witch who dwells in the forest of Rokenjima.
Rokenjima?
God damn it. Bava-sama. I don't expect you to believe this all of a sudden. But Beatrice-sama exists. She is a real person, the one who gave Master his vast amount of gold, and who worked by his side for many years.
Huh? Ah, come on. Whoever they're paying you to repeat everything he says. I might think it was a joke. But neither Genji-san nor Cannon-kun laughed. Not even Kumasawa Ba-chan, who was avoiding my eyes, flustered. She started washing the dishes. So unfortunately, I was the only one laughing. Painfully. Bitterly. I see. That why Genji-san refused to mention it? If you really mean it, of course I'll take it badly. So you're saying a person named Beatrice-sama actually exists?
Yes. She has been working for the Master since before the mansion was built on this island. She has most likely been working for him longer than I have.
What do you know? Kirie-san's theory was off. Grandfather really did have a confidant called Beatrice. That person on the island now?
Yes. I believe that she is here.
That's a vague way to say it. Guess it means you haven't seen her face today or yesterday?
That is correct. It is extremely difficult to say, but
Canon-kun once again dropped his gaze, avoiding my eyes. Come on, don't just stop there. Like freezing an inch before the blow, right? I urged him on, jokingly again. However, it looked like Canon was still confused as to whether he should speak or not. Then Kumasawa Bachan whispered. Give him a sec.
Oh. Cannot see her face. Because Beatrice-sama has no form.
She has no... What did you say?
Beatrice-sama has no body. Therefore, unless Beatrice-sama wishes it, common people like us are not able to see her form.
Muted my mic while I was in mid-sentence. Oh, Jesus, I need to stop doing this.
I actually really like your Kumasawa voice.
You're good, dude.
Thank you. I appreciate it. I appreciate you like the voice. I have heard that the portrait shows what Beatrice-sama looked like back when she had a human form. Seems she yearned for that figure so much he would often stand in front of that portrait. Oh,
Beatrice-sama sometimes shows herself by changing her forms into glittering butterflies. On the rare occasion you spot them somewhere in the mansion, there is a rule that you absolutely mustn't chase after them. It is whispered that you will end with disaster if you do so. In fact, there is a servant who broke that rule and quit because of that great injury.
Wait a sec. Are you kidding me? Are you all serious about this?
Butler-sama, Beatrice-sama has already arrived. Such language may be unwise. Beatrice-sama doesn't like it when she is profaned. If you doubt her existence, you will surely meet with disaster.
Butler-san, hardly find this topic unpleasant. But you know what? I don't give a shit. No. Beatrice-sama does exist.
She exists. Beatrice-sama hates people who doubt. Can't you tell, Butler-sama? Beatrice-sama has already arrived here.
I'm gonna go out on a limb and say I fucking called it.
Come on, quit it. I'm weak against that stuff. Not with the cheap threats. However, there was no trace of a joke in the eyes of the three servants. The servants had laughed and tried to look unconcerned. But I was quickly starting to sober up. Their eyes were also sobering up fast.
Butler-san, I beg that you stop profaning Beatrice-sama. Please, trust me.
Kumasawa Bachan, who was usually cheerful and would always tease people, now spoke with a totally serious face. Well...
Might have line read that a little differently if it was supposed to be, like, dead serious.
You're fine, don't worry. But even if you say that she exists, I don't see anything. I say that she's standing right next to me or something? Quit joking around.
Oh,
of course.
fuck this! I am getting ready in my chair. I know where this goes. I've seen enough horror anime.
Are you attacking Beatrice again?
Heard you were talking shit,
I've seen enough horror anime and read enough manga to know where this kind of creep scene is going. I am bunkering down. And taking a drink. I was eating Oreos during the entire thing there.
I had some Oreos too.
I mean,
but the moment the Oreo entered my mouth, dialogue from George instantly appeared.
Oh yeah, like there was multiple time where I was eating nachos and I had.
You guys want some fun facts?
Mm-hmm.
In the OG, in the Steam release, in the Pachinko sprites, supposedly they were going to have CGs, but they were cut, I suppose.
Oh,
there is a CG of this scene, actually.
Can you post it?
Fuck that! That just makes me worry even more, Joshy.
How do I know that they're not gonna go ahead and just completely fucking... Oh, wait, is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, that's the CG.
Oh yeah, fun fact actually.
Wanna throw that up?
Like you can actually tell.
Oh,
like,
for a second, I thought you were talking about here with Maria.
Not Maria.
There are certain achievements in the Steam version where you can see where CGs used to be, but they never bothered to actually implement them.
Pardon me. But seriously though, I don't trust this scene worth a lick of goodness.
Also, holy shit, Genji looks like a fucking zombie.
You wanna throw that up? I don't actually know what entails like throwing up something on a stream. Do you have to like save it as
me getting the file and then me slapping the file onto the thing and then blowing it up so people can see it properly?
So you actually have to like save an image.
Mm-hmm. Look, there it is. Spooky. Yeah.
Genji?
Yeah, the only reason why I mentioned that is because I don't want people looking it up on their own.
It does look really good, won't lie.
I mean, like, okay, so the fun fact about CG or the pachinko sprites is that they were associated with the animations for the pachinko, and everywhere else besides the sprites that are used in the Steam release look okay, but the Steam sprites look like shit.
Yeah, like that looks
Not
fine.
bad, huh?
Yeah,
You've seen the Steam sprites, Umineko.
Like the Steam sprites are like not great, but when they're either A in motion or B in the CG, they actually look pretty decent.
Oh, when they're in motion, does Eva's eyes?
Motion.
Whenever it's animated.
It's a pachinko. The pachinko's because it was a pachinko game. Umineko had a pachinko game. They got the people who did the animation for that just to make the sprite.
Wait, so Josh, in the animation, do Eva's eyes droop even farther down her head?
I don't know. I don't know.
There's
not a lot of footage of the pachinko
Hey, are you
sprite.
good to go, Con? Con?
Oh. Okay, so
I'm sorry.
to answer your question, I don't know about Ava because it's like.
I mean, my question was a joke.
Well, I mean, like.
I had to let my dog back in my room.
Okay.
Oh, that's fine. You got to make yet another con joke.
All right.
Just then, that unnerving laugh suddenly filled the kitchen.
Oh, I fucking love that face.
I turned around, Maria was standing there by the entrance. Fuck, yeah! That expression and that feeling about her, her presence, was exactly the same as the servants.
Hold on. Riri? What up?
Do you want to look at the creepy girl, Riri? Do you believe in witches, Riri?
Ew. Believe in witches, we already call him a demon dog.
Yeah.
You know, Denton seems like the kind of guy to make the joke, witches say what?
Fuck you for giving him that idea.
You've given him ammo now, why would you do that?
Dude,
I'm loading my gun, and I shall fire later.
Dude,
Which
for the
is Kansas.
love of God, don't reload and cock another man's gun.
What? What? What am I loading?
Conda just sounds like something Candace would do.
Shut the fuck up, please let Conda read the line.
That really did not come out right.
What do you load inside of a man's gun, Kaneko?
Come.
Bullets?
Why?
Moving on, right?
Okay.
Oh, 5.56 or 9mm?
Creepy girl time. Let's go.
What about 7.62 high velocity?
Moving on.
Moving on.
Whether your wavelengths match or not is determined at birth. Battler, you were born with a mismatched wavelength. That's why you can't see her. That's why you can't meet with her. And that's why you can't talk to her. You're the type Beatrice hates the most.
Maria laughed like it was funny. It sounded extremely eerie. Almost like she was laughing at me because I alone didn't understand.
Do you want to know about Beatrice? Beatrice is a 1,000-year-old witch. With all of the demons at her command, she can harness the power of alchemy to create the Philosopher's Stone and a vast quantity of gold. Grandfather built up all the vast wealth of the Ashiramina family by making a contract with her. Yesterday I read Beatrice's letter, didn't I? That was real. Well, I guess it's pointless for me to try and force you to believe. After all, it looks like you were born without a trace of the sixth sense.
What are you talking about? Witches? Demons? Who told you about that?
I heard it from Beatrice herself.
Maria kept doing that unpleasant laugh. However, the servants who watched over this didn't even blink. She heard it from that witch in the portrait adorning the entrance hall. Maria kept on laughing in a weird voice. Nothing more or less than the truth. Maria, I'd be rude to ask, but I'll ask one more time, okay? Who gave you that letter yesterday?
I got it from Beatrice. How many times must I tell you before you understand, plebeian? You don't get it, do you? You can't see it. You can't believe it, can you?
Just then, Maria's laughter suddenly stopped.
Battler, you still don't understand. Beatrice-sama exists.
She exists, you say? But where?
Like I said, Beatrice-sama exists here.
That's right. Now that I think about it, I've been feeling for a while now that the servants' eyes haven't been pointed in quite the right direction. Maybe they were just staring absent-mindedly, but that wasn't the case. For here, Genji-san, Kanin-kun, Kumasawa-san, and Maria. Everyone except me, looking at the spot right behind me. Holding my breath tightly so I looked over my shoulder. Of course there wasn't anyone there. Not the whole time! However, everyone in the room except me was focusing on that point as if there was something there.
Beatrice is the mighty gold witch who has lived for over 1,000 years. But since she can't show her form to humans of the wrong wavelength, she can't talk to them. And you know what? That's really sad. It means she truly despises it when people like you, who were born without a fragment of the ability needed to sense magic, deny that she exists. You're lucky, Battler. Good thing I gave you that charm yesterday, right? Don't you realize what kind of curse Beatrice would have put on you by now if you haven't been carrying it around?
Type. Nor.
Maybe we should wait for Nor.
Here, I just muted
You
him.
really are lucky, Battler.
Oh. That scorpion keychain. That was just some cheap gift or something. But are you saying it had some real magic power?
If it weren't for that, you'd be lying in that storehouse as a sacrifice with your face crushed by now. You're so lucky, Battler.
I see. If it weren't for that, I'd have been killed by now.
Battler, why don't you believe in Beatrice? Even though she exists. Right now. Over there. Look. Hey, I'll bet you want to believe it now. Believe it. And thank me for giving you that charm. If it weren't for that, you'd be in the storehouse right now. But then maybe you would have saved someone else in exchange, right?
Right then, I burst into laughter. Playing witches has been pretty fun up until a second ago, but unfortunately that last one seemed to be a bit too much for me to gloss over. And it's all useless, isn't it, Maria? That's true, then I'm sorry, but it's all useless. Maria saw me suddenly start laughing. She stopped. Even though she didn't understand what I was laughing at, she realized that it wouldn't be pleasant for her. That might hurt you, so I didn't say it earlier, but... Well, I thought I put that charm you gave me in my pocket. I must have dropped it somewhere. The charm can't be the only reason I'm alive now. And even though I should have been cursed by the witch, I'm perfectly fine. Sorry, but I don't believe in things I don't see with my own eyes. Sixth senses? Wavelengths? Magic sensitivity? Sorry, but I don't believe in fake stuff like that. When I hear the girls in class start talking about how good or bad their ability to sense the supernatural is, it pisses me off. I don't know how much Grandfather is paying you. You're trying to talk me into joining some cult. Believe me, you're able to do that, do it so easily.
About the summer.
You guys are free to believe whatever you want. But when it comes to whether or not I believe it, the one who decides is always me. Sorry, but I can't believe in something as shady as Beatrice until I've seen it with my own eyes. I spoke forcefully and sharply. Then Maria started cackling again.
Well, that's just fine, isn't it? Eventually, even people like you with totally mismatched wavelengths will be able to see Beatrice. Very soon, she will revive. Beatrice will revive. Once that happens, she's promised to talk with me and play with me a lot. There will be absolutely no need for you to doubt, or for us to force you to believe. She will appear very soon.
Also for the folks at home, Dameda. Zen Zen Damedaze.
There you go. That's the catchphrase.
Yeah, it's useless is all useless is Battler's catchphrase. Anyways, after a meal, some people tend to head to the bathroom, while others prefer to relax for a bit. Several people had left the parlor. There's a guy did when I went to the kitchen to drink some water. And me and Natsuhi reluctantly retracted her order that everyone remain packed into the parlor. On the condition that no one headed out on their own, or strayed too far. In any case, if 11 people are shut up in the same room, starting early in the morning, the air will start to stagnate. Also, quite some time had passed, so everyone was starting to recover from the shock of that morning. Sense of danger might have been weakened, too. However, it was certain fact that the 6 people had been killed inside this mansion. So no one was completely negligent. Whenever they went out into the hallway, or for a breath of fresh air, trying to act tough, they would have quickly get scared of standing there, isolated. Whoa. And eventually returned to the parlor. Guess it's like the north wind and the sun. Force someone to stay shut in, they'll resist. But then they will do whatever they want, they'll come back obediently. People really do like not doing what they're told. Friends finished cleaning up for the meal, returned obediently to the parlor. This is how Natsuhi had told them to. And sat on a sofa near the entrance, patiently awaiting orders. Maria, almost as though she had suddenly finished playing witches, turned to the pure Maria that I knew well, saying, "Ooh, ooh." What in the world happened back there? I hadn't even felt an atom of the presence of the person called Beatrice, who was supposedly standing behind me, invisible. I felt like I'd glimpsed a little into the presence inside Maria.
You're right. When Maria starts talking about witches, her personality changes. Paru-kun, you also saw it down by the beach yesterday, right?
You mean that scorpion keychain? No. Only like when her feelings were hurt. Talking about her having a dual personality or something.
Yeah, that happens sometimes too. That thing Maria did when she was talking about the magic circle does happen every now and then. It's freaky though. Not gonna lie, she's freaky. Freaky shit kid.
Apparently just got spotted that hee Maria a few times. Time to catch it at a bad moment, and I was pretty freaked out seeing it for the first time. So, what is that? Does Maria have a dual personality or something? Or is it that her spiritual sense really is that strong and she's been possessed by a spirit or whatever?
No, I don't think it's that. Haven't you ever experienced it? When you were small.
Whoops. I hit the wrong thing by accident.
Orange's Discord stream just died on us for a second.
Oopsies.
Hey! Everybody gets one!
I don't think that's it. Haven't you ever experienced it? When you were small, didn't you ever want to become someone other than yourself?
When humans are born, no one has any individuality. However, when they reach their growth period, their sense of self starts to be born. They want to be different than other people. Ever since everyone in their class is learning the same things at the same rate and being forced into the same lifestyle, of course they aren't going to find anything that makes them different from everyone else around them. Once they realize that, the first thing they do is start breaking the rules. In what's called their rebellious stage. Everyone else follows the rules. They want to show off their individuality by breaking them in. So even those who try to act tough, mocking everyone around them and calling them childish, can actually be viewed as cute kids searching for themselves, if you look at it that way. Well, I'm lecturing all about this like I'm so smart. I actually got it secondhand from George Anarchy. I myself was one of those embarrassing guys who thought it was cool to act like a little bastard. Well, that's when I was at that age where you try to show off for the opposite sex.
Who's to say he's still not like that now?
The main feature of a growing period lies in an impulse to break away from your life as a kid, like a chick trying to crack open a shell of their egg. Do you know what makes children and adults different?
Age? Or do you mean size?
No, it's experience. Adults can look down on children because children have very little life experience. The reason they snort at everything children say is because they think kids know nothing about the real world.
Yeah, I understand that. When you're a kid, you talk like you've got life all figured out somehow, trying to act like an adult. No matter what kids say, adults just snort at them and say they're too naive or that they'll never understand when they get older or something. Well, it's probably true, but to a kid it's just annoying, like they're being looked down upon.
I get it. It's a question of knowledge and experience. Well, I guess you're right that there's no reason to respect a person for their age if they just wasted their lives.
Therefore, during the period where they try to separate themselves from the other children, they also try to take on personality traits different from those around them. And if knowledge and experience is what separates kids and adults...
I get it. They know something that no one else knows, it becomes a part of their identity.
You know, when I was in elementary school, I'd learn things no one else knew. Get things no one else had, weird things no one else wore, and became a bit of a hero for it. I'll bet you've done the same thing, Battler.
Yeah. There's definitely an age where I wanted to excel in some skill or other.
Was it tit grabbing?
I see. That's because I was trying to separate myself from being a child. Or going through my own growing period, in other words.
If you put a positive spin on it, the growing period forces you to separate yourself from others, thereby pushing you to gain skills and knowledge no one else has. This is also interesting from a sociological standpoint. Because people hate being like everyone else, they try to learn skills other people don't know. And this way, society can acquire the broad range of skills it needs to survive. The quality of the gods' programming is truly surprising.
Well, unique personality traits can also be negative, right? Like if, say, everyone in the class is studying hard, but I was the one slacking off, trying to stand out. Okay, that last bit really was true about me. Like recently that I've been able to thank the middle school teacher who slapped me after school. But, well, I tried to jump over things that no one else could. Sprint as fast as I could, trying to lap those guys with good grades when we did a marathon. I just felt like doing it. It was in my nature that, if I couldn't study well, at least I could get back at them by exercising. I see. So I really did go through a proper growing period.
I guess boys do tend to focus on more physical stuff. But you know, girls of the same age tend to focus more on mental, spiritual things. I'll bet there were groups of girls in your class that got really interested in fortune-telling and their spiritual senses. I feel like I'm being called out right now.
Yeah, there were. They'd come over asking for my sign and my blood type. And I'd laugh. I thought so.
Umineko, did you dabble in the occult?
That's such a Gemini
I will
thing to say.
confirm that I did have a stack of tarot cards. I will not confirm or deny anything else.
Hey, she's just a fan of JoJo. That's
Did you
it.
ask anybody what their star sign was, Umineko?
I thought it was Persona.
Yeah, guys.
Uh-huh.
I need to wake up at 7 for my job, so is there any chance we don't go too much further?
Yeah, I gotcha. We'll try to find a nice little stopping point in a bit.
Do you know when the chapter break is?
No. I don't actually know where it is. Just give it a few more minutes, and then we'll stop. Don't worry.
Okay.
It really got on my nerves. No matter which class you go to, girls like fortune-telling. Think whether your spirit sense is strong or weak, whether your sensitivity is, we can see the unseeable. Nothing definitely happened to me.
That's because fortune-telling and spiritual senses are things that aren't taught in school. To girls, they tend to be more introverted. It's a genre that's easy to build an identity upon, and one that holds a lot of interest for them.
I really feel called out right now. Just like how when boys enter their growing period, they start acting tough and rebel against adults. When girls enter their growing period, they start getting interested in that kind of thing. Well, I didn't, though.
So Maria having so much interest in the occult isn't that rare among girls her age. If we accept that, I wonder if it explains that creepy dual personality thing. Actually, I think I could probably accept that explanation, more or less.
As you just said, becoming an adult means gaining knowledge and experience. So to gain that, it's necessary for children to learn all sorts of things and break free from childhood. However, these are certain convenient delusions that you see often in the world of children, both now and in the past. Do you know what I mean?
You see it all the time in manga and anime, right? It's kind of like that. Like you've got memories from a previous life that start to resurface. Like you're being possessed by the soul of the great something or whatever.
Or it could be that a sleeping gene gets awakened. Maybe a sealed power or memory returns. There's all kinds. For some reason stuff like that's really popular at that age. Why is that?
One of those examples you've just mentioned are illusions that let children immediately add to their sum of knowledge and experience. If a 9-year-old girl says she has a 1,000-year-old witch possessing her, then she gains a 1,009-year-old identity.
So basically, studying is annoying. But these delusions are convenient for people who want to brag about having a skill no one else has, amazing people around them.
Take your brag about something without having to work hard or study. I see. Isn't that a kid's greatest dream?
Furthermore, in their desire to separate themselves from being kids, they always project an image of their ideal self. And it's not rare for that desired self to become an alternate personality. Even you, Bethler-kun, probably has a slightly different personality at home and at school, right? It'd probably be embarrassing if your friends at school saw how you were at home.
No, I feel like I'm getting called out.
At school, you try to project yourself as you want to be, but at home is where you are your true self.
So in other words, I'm changing my personality depending on the situation.
There's actually an educational terminology for that.
It's Jungian psychology. I say having multiple personalities is actually really common.
A girl who's a fan of the occult might say she's been possessed or awakened. Honestly, there's some kids who change their personalities so much it's creepy.
That's my favorite Fire Emblem game.
And some boys do it too, right? Guys who say they've blown their top and suddenly turn into some overplayed violent character. I'll bet they think it's pretty cool, but it's painful to watch.
I mean, my name is literally Battler, so I mean, let's sum this all up. Saying that even if a girl about Maria's age has a creepy second personality like she did a minute ago, isn't such a rare or unusual thing.
Simply put, that's right. Identity is an important factor when building up one's sense of self. If you make fun of it, it could actually cause children to go back into their shells. So it's important to go along with them to some degree.
No.
Although the broad mindlessness of the parent determines whether they play along in full or not.
Aniki, I can't believe you're single. You're like you already raised kids.
Jesus, too
school.
soon!
Oh my god!
Battler, we literally had this discussion not 20 minutes ago. The fuck?
Battler,
No.
my fiance is still in the shed, you fuck.
That was I believe this is what they call a certified bro moment.
I think this is more of a dense writing question at best.
The question.
I think this is a good place to stop.
Yeah.
This isn't even a bro moment, Battler. What the fuck is wrong with you?
Thank you guys. I really appreciate it.
So for the record, that's what I was referring to when I said that Battler said something really insensitive.
Oh my god!
Yo, George, I can't believe you haven't gotten any pussy! George just quietly, a single tear down his cheek.
Single tear.
My fiance's corpse is still in the shed. You ginger fuck.
Hey, I'm like red or whatever, man. I'm something.
I don't care.
Okay, so before,
It's okay, Aniki. I have stuff.
Before I go to bed, do you think that Maria is just playing along with what Beatrice told her to just, like, act creepy, or is she actually possessed?
Or maybe this explanation right here was the quite literal.
I mean, Maria said, well, do you want to go to the Battler Cube?
Yeah, we're gonna enter the cube real quick, like. Also, just want to say real quick, thank you very much for following along with us, Tropzard, if you wanna. I'm glad that you're gonna be sticking around for a little bit. That's pretty cool. We also have like a little Discord if you want to pop in there and see what's up and all that fun stuff. I think you just found it in the about section. But anyways, we're gonna have like a little after talk conversation. So if you want to dip out now, you can.
Yeah.
But other than that,
Yep, because I've got I've got theories, I've got notes right here.
These aren't totally devoid of content because I'm keeping them in the fucking sessions, Orange.
Yeah, no, I gotcha. I'm just saying for people who want to dip out now.
There are post-discussion or post-session discussions, and typically it is for what is it? People who have not read it and don't know what is up to theorize and think about what is going on in the current story, and us to kind of pick their brain about it and see where their line of reasoning is going.
This is the theory crafting session.
Or section.
Section. By the way, I don't see the Discord link in the about section.
You gotta click on the cube.
Yeah, there's a little cube that you have to click on. It says "Bajoin" though.
Oh, it's under the about section.
Also, I will say for the people who are not currently talking in the chat and they also want to pop in, hey, maybe consider following us so we can get more attention because this is part of the ongoing effort to get more people to read Umineko.
I want us to get bits so I can throw any at him.
So, can we start theorizing now?
Okay.
Yeah, I actually do want.
Everyone shut the fuck up one at a time.
Actual theorizing starts now. So if you want to dip
Okay, so Charlie, if you want to.
I'll let anybody else go first.
I actually do want to
consume the entire time.
I do want to go on something Shelly said. So I think that Maria said that she has a closer connection to Beatrice. So I'm thinking that she might have directly talked to her. She might actually be able to directly hear her. That I don't think she said that she can see her. But yeah, I think she might have had a direct conversation. Well, actually, yeah, she can see her because in the garden, supposedly she can see her because in the garden she said she saw her.
I always feel so frustrated. I always miss out on these like big discussion things, but I really do have to go now because I gotta wake up at 7.
Alright, man. See you later.
That's understandable.
Good night, Kaneko. Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Good night, dude.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh.
I guess I could always just listen back to the VODs.
I was about to say,
That
remember, if you cannot make it to this point in the stream while you're live, Worry not, there is always the VODs uploaded on our Twitch or YouTubes.
Yep.
I will also mention to the people who are just watching it now, if you're wondering, hey, where's session 2? I don't see the VOD for that. That's because I accidentally flashed my resume on the screen.
I actually... Oh, go ahead.
And Twitch does not let you remove any of that information. But fortunately, you can just go to the YouTube and watch it there.
I was about to, I was considering asking, before we started, if we should probably mention that, in the beginning of the video.
No, you're fine.
Are you saying that people can go to your website at youtube.com/orangeboy with a 0?
Also see the amazing edited versions of these.
We have
by our own digital Josh.
We have 0 up at the current moment because currently I am trying to I guess work up a good backlog in case we have to cancel and we start catching up a little bit too fast.
Alright.
Also, these take time because for no reason I spent fucking almost the entire day on 2 things for a video. Because these are heavily edited and I do have a little bit fun with that. So.
Oh, the bits are great. I love the bits.
They really are.
I really need to watch those edited VODs.
Also, to reassure anyone, they are not nostalgia critic bits. They are just moments of when we have the goofiness while reading.
Do a little goofing.
Anyway, Ganeka, do you wanna go? Unless somebody else had something else to say.
Anyone?
I had nothing.
Alright, go ahead, Con.
Okay. Anyway, I find it really interesting that Ava's being so genre-savvy about this. Well, normally, the character like her wouldn't actually be aware of the situation, or if she was aware, she'd go ahead and just be as Battler said, just deny. But here, she's actually genre-savvy. That's actually refreshing to see in a mystery like this. But at the same time, it makes me wonder if she's trying to play Battler like a fiddle. Well, it is a possibility. Ava's sarcastic. I have a note here that says, Ava being a bitch. So literally, she could just be going ahead and saying all of this, and while innocent, could still be fucking with Battler.
Like just throwing him red herring after red herring?
Pretty much, yeah.
You think Kumasawa is throwing him a mackerel?
Just fish after fish.
A mackerel? Whoa!
I also think it's actually interesting they talked a bit more about the key and the storage. That got me to thinking. Would there actually be a spare key? And if there... It does also kind of confirm my theory of more than one culprit. Somebody would have had to help carry those bodies and help get the thing unlocked. Well, it does make sense. Unless that person was incredibly strong. And there's only a select handful of few characters who can possibly do that.
Do you mind sharing who you think that is?
Dumb as this sounds, I want to say Genji.
Genji?
He does look strong enough for it. But I've got another theory. It could just been Kinzo. And the person who helped him may have actually been somebody else we haven't even seen before. It could have been just Kinzo and Beatrice, as dumb as that sounds.
Do you have any thoughts on the bloody hand claw prints on the door?
I do.
Okay.
Oh, go ahead.
Let's hear what Con thinks first.
Anyway, that actually confirmed my prior theory. Somebody was trying to go ahead and summon something else. I wrote down what all Maria said about that circle. If I can... dang it, my notes are so messed up. Here we are. The circle itself is Germanic in nature. 4 kings, 4 angels, all names written in Hebrew accordingly. Surrounded by it, the Psalms 116, 16 through 17. The specific cult knowledge. which means either Genzo did do it, or somebody else with too much free time on their hands. That being said...
Sorry, did you say Ginzo?
It's Kinzo.
Ginzo, sorry.
Ginzo, alright. I wasn't sure if you actually meant Genji, or if you actually meant Kenzo.
I'm saying Genji is one possibility, but I'm also thinking that maybe, if what they said... The servant said that Beatrice does exist, but she doesn't have a physical body. Which does confirm one theory I had. But I want to see if it confirms another. My old theory on Beatrice actually possessing a member of the family. Follow me here. Middle of the night, typhoon's going on. Kinzo would have already known about the typhoon. And he already summoned Beatrice, or at least tossed his own ring out the window. Beatrice is already there on the island, but she has no physical body to inhabit. She's just spirit. She takes a body, one of the remaining people who are still alive, and helps Kinzo commit these murders. Applies the seal directly onto it to help Beatrice find a real body, free her from the state of limbo that she's in, and then possibly give her a physical body that can communicate with everyone. And the person who's possessed the entire time doesn't know. That person may have been Ava. She's the only one of the children left behind that wasn't dead.
If I may ask, so you think Beatrice is in the body of Ava?
Given how sassy Ava is and how she's literally been throwing back and forth, I wouldn't put it past. However, it could also be that Beatrice has a physical body at this point, but that doesn't add up. So, yeah, I'm saying she's possibly possessing Ava.
It could be that also Beatrice will get a physical body. Well, actually, I don't know. I'm thinking that that the circle might have something to do with her getting a physical body.
That's exactly what I'm thinking and what I'm saying too. You'd be exactly right.
Or the circles, I should say, because are they? Would you consider them summoning circles?
I would say it's summoning, and you heard what Maria said back in there. It's not a circle of summoning. It's one of breaking bonds, releasing something, meaning that it could be releasing It could be releasing Beatrice from whatever limbo or whatever metaphysical limbo she's stuck in.
So you believe, if I'm getting this right, that Ava is inhabiting inhabiting a current body, and to I guess release her, they're using sacrifices and these circles to effectively break whatever is holding her.
You mean Beatrice?
Beatrice, yeah.
I just had a thought.
So, yeah.
I just had a thought. Oh, go ahead.
No, you go ahead first.
Alright, it was about the bloody door. It's that Kinzo isn't around, and anybody that would be trying to get into that door, I imagine would have fucked up hands. So I wonder if Kinzo was the one trying to get inside that door, because we don't know what his hands look like.
Or they could have just been severely mucked, and then they could have just washed it off, and then they'd be fine.
Are you saying Kinzo actually tried to claw his way into the room?
I'm thinking that could be a possibility because he's the only, because I imagine that the person doing that would have fucked up hands.
I want to say something, but after Bone.
I already said my thing.
Okay, so what I think is the hands belong to Beatrice, and she was the one who committed the murders, and she was trying to get her way into Natsuhi's room, but because of that charm, she couldn't get in. So that's why there's shit all over the knob.
That seems a bit easy, though. I mean, I imagine that is why, the charm is why they couldn't get into the door, unless it's gonna be oh, there was no magic involved after all, or some shit.
Or the scorpion charm, just a big red herring.
I still say that the scorpion charm prevented Natsuhi from being invaded and possibly killed in the first place.
Or the one who's trying to claw at the doorknob was one of the victims.
How would that make sense?
They were trying to get away?
They're just trying to get into any room.
Well,
oh god. It could have been Shannon.
Oh god, Natsuhi, please help me.
The
door's locked.
I guess, so you mean while they were being attacked? I guess.
But like they managed to get away.
Like
a little bit.
victim got away with like half their face fucking.
No,
well, I meant that came later.
Remember, they lost their face after death. Remember?
Oh yeah, that's right. All right.
So yeah, they probably got attacked, scarpered, and made their way to Natsuhi's room to call for help. Oh shit, the door's locked. Bam, dead.
That is also a possibility, but if that is the case, then let me ask you this.
There would have been more blood, huh?
Yeah. Where's the blood in the hallway if that's the case?
Could be a blunt instrument, like a non-bleeding type tool.
Or maybe they didn't get killed in Natsuhi's room necessarily. Maybe they got injured, got their hands bloodied, tried to call for help from Natsuhi, realized the door was locked, and then just ran further.
There's always drugs, but I don't think it was drugs.
Another thing I think on...
Well, if I may ask you something, is that, like, what do you think about Battler's current position, currently? Because he's, like, saying, I don't believe in magic. What do you think about that? You think he's, like, dead wrong about that, then?
I wanted to stay on the Ava and Natsuki stuff before I got to Battler.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
If that's alright.
What?
Anyway. I honestly think this still falls into an idea with my last theory I put out last time. Scorpion helped to prevent, or just... It feels like something like this would have been a death curse or something. But I know that can't be right. So, the Scorpion necklace could have kept Beatrice's presence away from Natsuhi. So Natsuhi was supposed to die, but was saved miraculously because Jessica had a change of heart.
Wait,
you can account that. Sorry, you want to go ahead and
finish your thought.
You can account for everything in one scenario, but if you're going ahead and choosing a random roulette, there's always going to be something that you never expect. Remember, this is going like a game of roulette. Not everything is going to work out the way you want, and all of your chips are probably going to be lost at some point.
So, I also had a thought again. So, Maria said that Beatrice gave her the umbrella, right?
Yes.
How? In what form was Beatrice? Was she physical? Did like the wind carry an umbrella? Where did the umbrella come from?
I don't think... I think that all that Maria said was, oh, Beatrice gave me it. I don't think she actually explained it that much, because one, I think the adults were too busy, like, being like, wait, what?
Yeah, I'm just wondering, like, if Maria gave any details as to how Beatrice delivered her an umbrella.
No,
and, like, in what form? Like, did just a butterfly have... Was it a butterfly holding an umbrella on its legs?
I think I can actually explain this. Whenever someone believes really strongly in some other kind of mostly magic or a ghost or something, they feel like it starts to manifest. What if Maria's belief in Beatrice allowed her to manifest near her?
Like,
Maybe possible.
Like, you think that Beatrice actually, like, formed near Maria to give her the umbrella?
Quite possibly.
The power of positive thinking.
And it ties back to what I said beforehand. It all ties back to Maria actually believing in Beatrice. Her belief powers her faith and therefore makes her visible to her.
It'd also be that wavelength thing that she was talking about.
That actually is something that I do know, because I also dabbled and researched all that kind of fortune-telling and all that Darkwood Circus stuff back when I was in middle school. I was Chunibuyo, you guys can rub it in.
Wait, a what?
Chunibyo.
We all...
What's a Chunibuyo? Oh, the eye patch girl. The eye patch girl from the anime.
Yeah.
That's also a legit archetype.
It is.
Yep, Mega Meme.
Bone, did you not unlock your wicked eye?
My powerful right hand is coursing.
So anyways, still got something else, because there's something I do want to ask all of you. Is that, what do you guys think of the servants?
That, I actually have something else on.
They're so innocent that they can't possibly be innocent.
At the beginning of the chapter point where we started, Ava said something really interesting to me. if I can find it in my fucking writing. Servants serve as arms and legs. Mostly of their master. What if in the epitaph, when it was referring to sacrificing the arm, the head, the chest, the leg, and the knee, was referring to the servants?
Alright.
Which means Shannon was sacrificed too early, so this ritual is a failure.
So you believe since Shannon was sacrificed first, that inherently the ritual got fucked up, am I right?
Mm-hmm.
So you believe Shannon didn't die at the correct moment that she needed to?
No. Like I said, at least beforehand, it could be that she ended up seeing something she wasn't meant to. Or she chased the butterflies, and she got killed too early.
So your theory with that is that Shannon saw something she wasn't supposed to when the initial 5 were probably getting murdered, and was therefore murdered on the spot because of she would be a loose lips, and thus breaking the ritual steps as you've said, right?
That's roulette for you. Sometimes you can bet on the right color, but you can't bet on the right number.
I'm curious if you think that the how they died has any meaning.
Getting their faces bashed in?
Yeah, like, do you think there's any meaning to that, or it's just that was just the best way to do it at that time?
Well, that was done after they were all dead.
Yeah, but like, why would they do it after they're dead? Like, is there any meaning? Like, is there a reason? Did they have to get their faces smashed in, or would like a knife to the throat have worked? Or like, did it have to be bashed in by face, or bashed in face?
Remember, they were dead before they had their heads bashed in.
Yeah, I'm wondering if their heads being bashed in was required.
What he's asking is, what is the significance of them having their faces bashed in, and like some not even having their full faces bashed in? Is that right, Baum?
Yeah, like if there was any deeper meaning to why it was specifically like the face, like could like their arm get smashed for any reason, or?
Well, that wouldn't make any sense.
Yeah, I guess it wouldn't, but yeah.
And I think I have an idea on that.
What?
All of those adults clearly stated that they didn't believe in Beatrice, or that they didn't even focus on all of that. All they were focused on, and at least for the most part, was just the money. PDA, however, was just along for the ride with their husband and just following along. It could be that their faces were smashed in as an insult because they couldn't respect Beatrice. Like an act of hate after their death.
So you think them being bashed in the face and like having their faces destroyed after death was it like a sign of like, hey, don't fucking disrespect me?
Oh, an act of malice.
Quite possibly.
Like, yeah, just an act of disrespect, I guess.
Disrespect and malice. The face is often seen as a mask. Meaning, if they had their masks off, then they'd show their true selves.
Damn, that's deep.
And if it's bashed in and destroyed... Mm-hmm.
Yeah, maybe. Anything more?
There is one other thing I have. One sec. I also get the feeling that Beatrice wouldn't do anything like this physically of her own accord. She's a 1,000-year-old witch. No, she's a 1,000-year-old witch. She is elegant. She is sassy. She gives off an air, even though we haven't seen her yet, of someone who doesn't want to get her hands dirty. So she couldn't have done anything like this physically. She could just be moving the chess pieces on the board as to where she wants them to go.
So you think that Beatrice, while maybe coming up with these, well, maybe not even coming up with these plans, but like fucking, you think that she would not like dirty her hands?
Yes, that's exactly what I'm saying.
Alright.
And as for this, I also think that it's very interesting of how Battler is in his position. He's stubborn as hell.
Mm-hmm.
He continuously refuses the idea and concept of magic. like a race that's continually disregarding that we all came from Indians and that everyone actually has some mixed blood in them.
I thought we came from Africa. Like, you're talking about the first humans?
I'm talking about a lot of things at this point.
The third of Pygmy, how easily forgotten.
Yeah, I'm going with Dark Souls lore on this one.
Anyhow.
Oh. Bottom line, it's interesting that that Battler can still go ahead and remain solid and say there is no such thing as magic in an environment like this.
Well, I mean, he hasn't really seen anything so out of the ordinary.
I was gonna say, like, the only people who've seen the butterfly was Shannon and us.
Exactly. Which means he's either smart as hell or stubborn as fuck. I'm thinking it may be a combination of the two.
Alright.
Pardon me. There was also something else. The servants beforehand, and including Genji, said that there was a person named Beatrice, and that got me to think. If there was a Beatrice who did work alongside Kinzo and actually was physically seen with him, does that mean there was a physical Beatrice once?
Possibly.
I mean, also to kind of throw it, wasn't there a scene with the in the kitchen where like Kinzo, Cannon, and Kumasawa were just looking behind Battler, saying like, "Oh, Beatrice is here."
Mm-hmm.
So it's just like the people who saw Beatrice probably were on the same length and like, well, wavelength or whatever the fuck that Maria said, and like went like, "Oh yeah, we saw her." But like to Battler, it's like, I don't see shit.
Mm-hmm. Some people are spiritually retarded.
Maybe
Don't
don't
use that
use
terminology. Maybe don't. Let's not use that terminology.
I say spiritually dense.
That's a better word.
Okay, then yeah, spiritually dense. Retarded.
Alright. So we good?
I'm still gonna go ahead and leave this on the table and say that maybe there was a physical Beatrice way back when Kinzo was younger.
When Kinzo was Kinzo.
That's a Genji's
No,
and Kinzo's
like,
fusion form.
There was actually there was actually a physical other Beatrice.
Alright.
Possibly.
Kaneko,
I don't have to confirm
Yeah.
who do you think has committed these murders?
I already put out my theories for that. Once again,
what was it?
theories.
Ava possessed by Beatrice.
And Kinzo.
Alright.
And that's all I have to say.
Anyone else?
I'll write my
I
notes
already said
out.
what I thought.
I'll write my notes out in the Discord so that way you won't have to deal with my atrocious handwriting, and so that way everybody can get a good idea of how my brain functions.
Alright.
I would suggest maybe you could put this in a Google document, but then I thought, wait, no, while you're doing it, and then I remembered, oh right, you don't have a second screen.
Exactly, I don't. I only have the one screen. Why you keep assuming I have two is beyond me.
Because, I think quite a few of us actually.
Look, we're gamers, okay? We all have at least 2 screens.
I have my display tablet.
I have 4
Why would
if you
need
include my.
two screens for gaming?
I have
one for the game and one for YouTube and
Oh,
Discord.
One for the game and one for porn.
No!
One for gaming.
You're going
and
to
one for
find
art.
Why would you watch YouTube videos while you're playing a game? That doesn't make any sense.
Music
stuff.
and streaming.
Background noise.
Here's the artist.
Anyways, we're getting off topic hugely.
Oh yeah.
We tend to do that.
Delightful.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
What do you think about Maria's relationship with Beatrice?
Ooh.
Plain and
I think
simple.
It's delusional.
Do you think Maria is like, ooh, like all about this and Beatrice, and then like, but it's like it's just delusional?
I think she's just coping with her mommy's death.
Mama.
I mean, she was like that, like more like on the beach. Even she was like, "Here's the scorpion charms." Like she was into this pretty heavily before that.
And Jessica
But I
did
mean, the whole
state.
split personality thing.
Well, Jessica did state that she saw this version of Maria before this.
Yeah.
I think that it's.
And let's not forget, Maria probably hasn't had the best home life, considering Rosa has a temper, is a single parent, and has possibly been dating a lot of men. She's probably been subjected to some pretty creepy shit lately.
Yeah, I
So
don't
it's
think
not exactly out of the way to go ahead and say that maybe she developed this over the course of a couple of years as a coping mechanism.
Yes, the copium. Well, look, that you got you got Maria and you got Maria EX.
but I must slap the child to increase my copium levels.
So you think that Maria never met Beatrice?
I'd say she did.
Robert, you say she didn't.
Of course, that's just me.
Say
I
that
think
again,
anyone
Bones?
else here would have a different opinion.
Robert, you think that she did not meet Beatrice?
I think she's delusional.
Okay.
So she never met her.
She thought she did, and she's just doubling down.
Also,
Ignore.
I'm going to take just a moment real quick to say, I've ran out of like really good music to use as like the backgrounding for this, so I've been using remixes of various songs from Umineko by somebody named Scramble. You should look them up if you don't know if you know what's up. If you don't know what's up, don't look them up, please.
Okay, so we should go ahead and not look them up then.
Yes, I'll provide you with the remixes at the time that I find them appropriate.
Okay.
He's also known as Hojo Orion on Twitter.
Yes.
Oh,
it's that guy. Don't look at them.
Yeah,
they got spoilers.
Don't look at them if you don't know what's up. If you do, you can look.
I meant to say don't look at their content, but I just said don't look at them.
Well, that's all I have to say about tonight.
Okay, back on back on topic. So Khan, if you think that Maria did meet with Beatrice, do you think that Beatrice is a real person or someone pretending to be Beatrice, or?
Again, it all depends. I think she's real in the sense that she is a witch and she does manifest herself. I don't think she's real in the sense that she doesn't have a physical body. Yet.
So you think that when this ritual is complete that she'll have a physical body, essentially?
Yes.
I think that's the whole purpose of this ritual, yeah.
Okay.
Robert, do you believe Beatrice exists in general?
Yes.
Okay.
But you do not believe Maria saw her?
Yes.
So I guess as a bit of a show of hands, who believes that Beatrice exists?
Me.
Outside of Khan and Robo, because we know.
I guess I could say that I think she does.
Okay.
I say she does some way.
Okay.
Noir?
Noir has read this before, so I don't think he needs to provide his input.
I think he's read more than I have.
Yeah.
Oh, honky.
Robo, that you believe?
He's not here.
No, Robo.
Robo already said that he believes that she exists.
All right.
I'm right here, Crimson. What are you talking about?
At any rate, okay. I think
Beatrice exists. Ooh.
Beatrice will be
real.
Ooh, woo. All right, we're getting a little too off topic, so I think this is where we're gonna cut it here for the night.
That's fair.
So I'll say once again, thank you very much for coming. Thank you to the 2 new people who we got. I mean, obviously one of them is Messi, who is a user of the Discord and all that fun shit. But I mean, hey, if you're just kind of lurking, I would also appreciate a follow, because we're getting very close to 50 people, which is very cool, very based.
I'll throw pennies and orange.
Yes. I smell pennies.
Dance monkey.
Pennies.
Yeah, that is it. Thank you very much for coming. See you all next time.